the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 751 The Rise of the Zhong Family. I had just restrained myself a little in school, and someone dared to let me take a photo? Zhu Ruiming was about to open his mouth to curse, but when he looked up, he saw Lin Yi and Tang Yun beside Liu Xinwen, as well as the eldest lady and Chen Yashu over there. He immediately stopped talking and thought to himself, it was a close call. Fortunately, I was a little slow to speak, otherwise I would have been in trouble. Except for Liu Xinwen, none of these people here can be provoked by me. Damn it, I am so unlucky. I can meet so many ruthless people even when I come back from playing basketball. However, on the surface, Zhu Ruiming showed a flattering smile. Isn't this boss Lin Yi and sister-in-law Tang Yun? Long time no see. Looking for a photographer? I'm a professional. I have participated in many private photo shoots. Private photo shoot? What is it? Tang Yun was stunned. She didn't know what Zhu Ruiming was talking about. Huh? Zhu Ruiming realized he'd let the cat out of the bag and felt a bit embarrassed. It's just a private photoshoot. Oh, Sister Yao, private photoshoot, right? Are you referring to those naked photos of the female celebrities on that dating TV show a while ago? Chen Yashu asked. Does he want to take nude photos of us? No, that's not what I mean. Zhu Ruiming was shocked. Taking nude photos of the woman next to Lin Yi? Would that be suicidal? What I mean is, I'm a very good photographer. Oh, then, Chen Yashu didn't say anything else to Zhu Ruiming. Instead, she stood next to Lin Yi and waved to Chu Mengyao, Sister Yao, stand to the right of Brother Arrow. Chu Mengyao ignored Chen Yashu and stood next to her. Tang Yun continued to stand next to Lin Yi, with Liu Xinwen standing beside her. Zhu Ruiming took a group photo of the five of them and then fled in disgrace. Who knew if Chen Yashu would come after him? By the afternoon, most of the students had returned. The Pengzhan Group press conference had concluded, and all parents and students had learned the full story. A shady businessman, unsuccessful in his attempt to take over the school cafeteria, had poisoned it in an attempt to tarnish the school's reputation. Therefore, the incident had little to do with the school. The police had apprehended the suspect, and the parents were relieved to let their children return to school. Homeroom teacher Liu had returned with a mission. She was one of the few people in the school with inside information. Zhong Pinliang was the perpetrator of the poisoning, but also a victim. His loss of a kidney had distorted his psychology, and the ridicule of his classmates had driven him to extremes. To put it bluntly, it was a lack of love, warmth, and care. So, Liu decided to organize the class to visit Zhong Pinliang in the hospital. In reality, aside from Chen Yashu and Lin Yi, who were more prone to mocking Zhong Pinliang, everyone else had benefited from his kindness to some degree. Especially since Zhong Pinliang had recently treated everyone to a beach trip. Who would have mocked him? But it was normal to see him with a strange look. After all, everyone was curious to know what the difference was between someone without a kidney and a normal person. So, Teacher Liu had held a brief class meeting before the visit. Everyone, our classmate Zhong Pinliang has found a suitable kidney donor and just underwent a transplant. He's currently in the hospital. As a group, we should go to the hospital to visit Zhong Pinliang. After all, he's a member of our class 3, grade 5, Teacher Liu said. This activity is voluntary. If you'd like to go to the hospital, please prepare and wait at the school gate. The school bus is parked there. If you don't want to go, please study in the classroom. The bus was coming from the press conference, so there was no need to wait. Everyone could get on and go directly to the hospital. As senior year, everyone had less time to spend together, so after hearing Teacher Liu's words, everyone stood up and prepared to visit Zhong Pinliang. I want to emphasize this, you must not discriminate against Zhong Pinliang. You must give him enough warmth and love. Let him feel the collective care, Teacher Liu instructed. Who wants to suffer such a tragedy? Zhong Pinliang has already suffered enough, so we must not let him suffer any more. Everyone nodded, thinking of how they had looked at Zhong Pinliang with strange eyes before, wondering if they had caused any confusion or hurt to Zhong Pinliang. Chu Mengyao didn't really want to see Zhong Pinliang. She wished he were dead, so how could she possibly care about him? But as the eldest daughter of the Pengzhan Group and the daughter of the school chairman, she couldn't not go. What would others think of her? Even if she didn't care, She had to consider her father's reputation. She couldn't let people say that Chu Pengzhan's daughter was cold and heartless, not even visiting her classmate in the hospital. So, although reluctant, Chu Mengyao stood up with Xiaoshu and left the classroom. Lin Yi didn't care. He was completely following Chu Mengyao's wishes. If the eldest daughter went, he would go. If the eldest daughter didn't go, why would he go? This was the second time the entire class had come to visit Zhong Pinliang. Zhong Fabei wasn't surprised when he received the call from Teacher Liu. He knew his scheme had worked. His son had successfully deceived the police and the school into sympathizing with him, turning him from a criminal suspect into a victim. Pinliang, you are becoming more and more mature. You did a good job this time, and it is a happy ending. Zhong Fabei hung up the phone and said to his son approvingly, your classmates will come to the hospital to see you soon. They are already on the way, that's natural. Without setbacks, how can people grow? I was so naive before. I was fooled by Chu Mengyao and Chen Yusu. Zhong Pinliang nodded and said, I won't be so stupid in the future. Well, it's best that you can think it through. Zhong Fabei patted Zhong Pinliang on the shoulder. Are you ready to give up Chu Mengyao too? It's too early to say whether to give up or not, but when I soar into the sky, Chu Mengyao will sooner or later be my plaything. Zhong Pinliang sneered, since she has never liked me and treated me like a monkey, I will not let her go easily. It's good for you to have goals, but don't act rashly. Zhong Fabei thinks that it is not a bad thing to have something motivating his son to move forward. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid until I have the strength, Zhong Pinliang said. By the way, I want to go up the mountain to see Zhang Neipao after my kidneys are healed. See if there's anything I can do to help him. I'll be counting on him from now on. Chapter 752 Whose kidney is it? Of course you can. Zhong Fabei agreed that his son and Zhang Neipao should maintain a good relationship. Black Panther had managed to raise his strength to the early yellow rank, and Zhang Neipao, after systematic training, should be far behind. He might just be the future hope of the Zhong family's rise. By the way, how are your kidneys? Are you experiencing any discomfort? While your kidneys are a perfect match, there's no guarantee there won't be any rejection. It just hurts, but that's all. Zhong Pinliang shook his head. The wound hurts too. Let's see a doctor for a thorough checkup in a few days, Zhong Fabei said. And Jianwen's kidney harvesting ring has been busted. I wonder how Lin Yi is doing, who knows? It would be best if he died. Zhong Pinliang desperately wanted Lin Yi dead. Zhong Fabei nodded. He had spent the past 2 days accompanying Zhong Pinliang in the hospital and hadn't visited young Master Bing. He had no idea how Lin Yi was doing. Intermittent footsteps echoed in the corridor outside the ward. It was clear that Zhong Pinliang's classmates had arrived to visit. Zhong Fabei and Zhong Pinliang, father and son, also stopped discussing their previous topic. Sure enough, not long after, there was a knock on the door outside the ward, and Zhong Fabei stood up to open it. Teacher Liu, thank you for bringing the whole class to visit Pinliang. Thank you so much. Pinliang is so lucky to have such wonderful teachers and classmates like you, Zhong Fabei said gratefully, knocking on the door. But before he could finish his words, his eyes fell on Lin Yi, who was standing next to Chu Mengyao. Zhong Fabei's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. Duh. You, Lin Yi? Oh? Uncle Zhong, you're looking for me. Lin Yi shrugged at Zhong Fabei, knowing exactly what he was surprised about. Zhong Fabei assumed he should be lying in the hospital like his son, and now that he was here, it would be strange for Zhong Fabei not to have this expression. You, why are you here? Zhong Fabei lost his composure. He was a man after all, but he still lost his composure because this concerned his son's kidney. If his son's kidney wasn't Lin Yi's, then whose was it? Did Lin Yi have his kidney removed? Oh, I was injured a few days ago, and I'm fine now, Lin Yi smiled. Zhong Fabei was relieved when he heard what Lin Yi said, but then he thought, something is wrong. It's only been a few days since he had the kidney transplant. How could Lin Yi be so lively? It's totally illogical. Even if Lin Yi is a one-level master, isn't Zubo lying in the hospital bed? Wait, he said he was injured a few days ago? Could it be the time when he was beaten by Zubo? When did you get injured? Zhong Fabei asked subconsciously. Was he injured by Zubo? Don't you know? Lin Yi asked back. What about your Pinliang? Zhong Fabei wanted to ask something, but suddenly realized that there were other classmates of Zhong Pinliang here, so he had to shut up. He was full of doubts, and he could only ask Zhong Pinliang's classmates and teachers to come in first. Otherwise, It would be bad if it aroused the suspicion of the police. There are police patrolling in this corridor. Welcome, everyone is welcome to visit Pinliang. Zhong Fabei suppressed his doubts and let Lin Yi and others into the ward. Zhong Pinliang was lying on his side on the hospital bed, originally smiling to greet the teachers and classmates. He was about to say a few words of thanks, but suddenly saw Lin Yi among them, and he was stunned. Did Lin Yi have his kidney removed? Then he should be lying in the hospital now. How could he still come to see him? How is it possible? Oh, classmate Zhong Pinliang, I heard that you are now a healthy person with 2 kidneys. As long as there is no rejection, you are the same as us. Don't have any psychological burden. Chen Yushu wanted to ridicule Zhong Pinliang, but thinking of what teacher Liu said before, she changed to comforting. But this comfort sounded a bit awkward. No rejection, then it's the same. What about rejection? Thank you. Zhong Pinliang's mind was not on Chen Yushu's ridicule at the moment. Even if Chen Yushu cursed his mother at this moment, he would not feel much. His mind was completely on Lin Yi at the moment. Had Lin Yi's kidney been given to him? If not, whose kidney was it? Would that mean he was being rejected? He suddenly remembered what Chen Yushu had said before, as long as there's no rejection, we're just like the others. Was Chen Yushu hinting at something? Zhong Pinliang knew about the close relationship between Chen Yushu and Lin Yi. So, did Chen Yushu know something? Was she hinting that his kidney wasn't Lin Yi's, meaning it wouldn't be compatible and he'd soon be rejected? At this thought, Zhong Pinliang's mind went blank, his eyes glazing over. His previous illusions were completely shattered. He'd once dreamed of becoming a yellow rank expert after possessing Lin Yi's kidney, but now it seemed like even his own kidney would be a match. Zhong Pinliang didn't know how he'd manage to get through this. He didn't hear a single word of the soothing words from his classmates and teachers. His mind was filled with Lin Yi, his own kidney, and Chen Yushu's insinuation. Was his kidney not Lin Yi's? Now it seemed like it was probably true. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi be so kind to come and see him if his kidney had been removed? He might even have killed him. But Lin Yi didn't do that, and he came to see him so openly. Then wouldn't he be? Even after the teachers and classmates had left, Zhong Pinliang lay in bed with a vacant look in his eyes, his mind unsettled. The teachers and classmates assumed Zhong Pinliang was weak from surgery and unwilling to speak, so they didn't think much of it. They simply glanced at him and left the ward. As Lin Yi left, he gave Zhong Pinliang a meaningful look. Hasn't this kid's kidney been rejected yet? Zhong Fabei frowned, clearly considering the possibility of tragedy. His son's kidney wasn't Lin Yi's. Was it a mistake? But Xuanyuan's kidney scaling ring had been dismantled, and finding out whose kidney his son had was now impossible. He didn't even know who to turn to if he wanted to hold someone responsible. Even if Xuanyuan hadn't been arrested, he'd surely be on the run, and there was no way he could contact him. Zhong Fabei sighed. Why was his son so miserable? After finally getting a kidney transplant, it's still the wrong size? Dad, why is Lin Yi here? What's wrong with my kidney? As soon as Lin Yi and the others left, Zhong Pinliang started screaming like crazy. Whose kidney is this? Chapter 753 The Thief Couple. Pinliang, don't worry. Dad will go find a doctor right now and ask them to do a comprehensive check on your kidney. Zhong Pinliang was completely confused, and Zhong Fabei naturally couldn't be confused as well, otherwise, Zhong Pinliang would definitely be even more anxious. Although he was also very anxious in his heart, he could only force himself to be calm and said, maybe Xuanyuan and the others mistook someone else for Lin Yi. They can't just grab anyone and give you a kidney. A kidney costs a lot of money. They can't do such a thankless task. After listening to his father's words, Zhong Pinliang felt a little relieved. Indeed, Xuanyuan would never do such a thankless task. It's better to get a matching kidney than just give yourself a random one. Kidneys can be sold for money, and just replacing one will also cost money. Why would he do this? The only possibility is that Xuanyuan caught someone who looked very similar to Lin Yi, mistakenly thought that this person was Lin Yi, and then gave his kidney to himself. Okay. Let's do the check first, Zhong Pinliang nodded. Zhong Fabei didn't dare to delay and went straight to the doctor. Zhong Pinliang's kidney transplant wasn't performed by the First People's Hospital, so the First People's Hospital didn't have the relevant data and wouldn't follow up on Zhong Pinliang. They only performed some routine post-operative recovery care. Zhong Fabei was afraid that Zhong Pinliang's kidney would attract the attention of the police, so he didn't make a big fuss about having doctors follow up on him. He trusted in Jianwen very much? Since Jianwen said the kidney source was a perfect match, there shouldn't be any problems. Zhang Fabei wanted to wait for a while until Zhong Pinliang's body recovered a little before giving him a comprehensive examination. But there was no time for that now. Zhang Fabei found a doctor and quickly took Zhong Pinliang out of the ward for a comprehensive examination. Meanwhile, in another room in the hospital, Liu Bojia had indeed woken up in the afternoon, not much different from the time Lin Yi predicted. The doctors were amazed after seeing him. How could such a person who is relying on a ventilator to maintain his life wake up? And all his physical function indicators had improved significantly. Aside from some minor injuries, there were no other problems. Is this a miracle in medical history? However, Song Lingshan didn't disclose the details of his treatment, only telling the hospital that specialists were being brought in to treat him, and that the details were confidential. The hospital had no choice. The police had said confidentiality was the way it was, and they could only cooperate with him in arranging Liu Bojia's follow-up care. Upon waking, Liu Bojia was less stubborn than before, perhaps realizing that he had survived a catastrophe, but his future was uncertain. Everything depended on his choices. Liu Bojia hadn't anticipated that after entering the hospital, the psychopathic killer would find him, sneak into the ward under police supervision, and nearly kill him. If he survived this time, there was no telling if he would die next time. Liu Bojia was well aware of the gang's ruthlessness. Although the psychopathic killer hadn't said anything, he was undoubtedly sent by the gang to silence him. Liu Bojia knew that. With death as the inevitable outcome, Liu Bojia might as well cooperate with the police and have a chance of survival. He knew that as long as he lived, the gang wouldn't let him go. A prison sentence would be preferable, and he would be safer. Liu Bojia's condition stabilized, and Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan arrived, sitting near his bed. Liu Bojia, at this point, don't you want to say anything? Song Lingshan looked at him in the bed. She had previously thought he was a victim, but now it seemed like it was just an internal conflict. If it weren't for your good fortune in encountering a miracle doctor, do you think you'd still be alive? Song Lingshan's words were harsh, but with someone like Liu Bojia, there was no need for politeness. Not only had Lin Yi lost so much of his ki, but he had also caused considerable trouble and confusion for the police. After Liu Bojia woke up, he listened to the doctor's account of how long he had been unconscious and what had happened during that time. He was completely dependent on a ventilator to keep him alive. If the ventilator was removed, he would die. In short, the hospital had no way to treat his injuries. It was only when the police somehow found a master who treated Liu Bojia that he was finally saved. How much do you know? Liu Bojia asked, still harboring a certain hope. He wasn't sure how much the police knew, so he could be selective in his explanations. The tomb robbing group codenamed the husband and wife robbers has been apprehended. Chen Yushan didn't say the two leaders of the husband and wife robbers had been killed, but rather that they had been captured. This put a strain on Liu Bojia, as if the police had found evidence of his crime. According to them, you were also a member of the tomb robbing gang, and you're also involved in their next plan. This time, your entire family was exterminated because they were silenced by other tomb robbing gangs, right? Chen Yushan's explanation wasn't very detailed, but it essentially stated the truth. The more he spoke, the more Liu Bojia assumed the police already knew most of the situation. After all, with the husband and wife robbers apprehended, the police would likely be able to uncover his own details with a quick investigation. A couple of thieves? What do they do? Tomb robbing? What does it have to do with me? Liu Bojia asked tentatively. He didn't believe that the couple of thieves would confess him as soon as they were caught. This was a bit unreasonable. He had no conflict of interest with them. There are also rules in the tomb robbing business. If you bite people randomly after you go in, it is very likely that you will attract revenge from your peers. You are in jail, but you still have family, right? If they can't take revenge on you, they will take revenge on your family. Therefore, many tomb robbers only confess their own problems after being caught. As for other tomb robbing organizations and sales channels that he knows, he will not say much. Otherwise, his family outside may cause crazy revenge from others. Haha, you are thinking that it is unrealistic for the couple of thieves to not confess other things but to confess you specifically, right? Song Lingshan has been a criminal policeman for many years and has learned to observe words and expressions. As soon as he saw Liu Bojia's expression, he knew what he was thinking. It is true that I am an archaeologist and have connections with some tomb robbing gangs, but I will not participate in tomb robbing. I just privately appraised some antiques obtained from tomb robbing in their hands. Liu Bojia began to excuse himself. Chapter 754. Want to meet Lin Yi. He believed that even if the couple mentioned him, they would not say too much. They couldn't even explain their own crimes, so why would they mention him? In fact, the couple didn't mention anyone else at first, but we confiscated a work manual from them, which contained some clues. Chen Yushan smiled and handed a copy to Liu Bojia. Liu Bojia took a look at the copy of the work notebook that Chen Yushan handed over, and his face suddenly changed. On the copy of the work notebook, his name, Liu Bojia, was clearly written, and it stated that he and the tomb robbing gang had investigated the tomb together. These words alone were certainly not enough to serve as ironclad evidence, but the key issue is that Liu Bojia didn't know that the couple had been killed in the resistance. In this way, as long as the police interrogated the couple about Liu Bojia, I believe there was no reason for them not to tell. At this moment, Liu Bojia was no longer ready to hide it. He couldn't hide it any longer, so he might as well confess everything. What the manual says is correct. The perverted murderer from before was probably recruited by the Hongta tomb robbers to silence me. Liu Bojia sighed. Hongta tomb robbers? Did you, the Hongta tomb robbers, and the couple jointly discover this tomb? Chen Yushan asked. It shouldn't be said we discovered it together, but rather that the Hongta, the couple, and the old black gangs jointly discovered it. Liu Bojia shook his head. I'm just a sort of expert. Because I have some knowledge of tomb mechanisms and secret passages, the Hongta always uses me during operations, and they share some of the spoils. We can say we're working together. Why did he kill you this time to silence you? Chen Yushan asked. I've seen this tomb. It's extremely dangerous inside, and I'm not completely sure I can open it. But based on past experience, I know beneath the danger lies a treasure. I plan to study it thoroughly after returning and then find a way to crack it, Liu Bojia said. That doesn't have anything to do with silencing me, Chen Yushan frowned. The people at Hongta thought I wanted to keep the tomb for myself, and in fact, I did have that thought, Liu Bojia said with a wry smile. We've worked together for so many years, so who doesn't know who? He guessed my intentions and was afraid I'd leak the information or try to keep the tomb's treasures for myself, so he wanted to kill me to silence me. Give us everything you know about the tomb's location and the methods to crack it, Chen Yushan said. You want to enter the tomb? Liu Bojia was stunned. Impossible. You don't have professionals with you. If you go in, you might not be able to get out. That's not for you to worry about, Song Lingshan interrupted. You just need to cooperate with the police. Your attitude will ultimately determine your sentencing. Okay, Liu Bojia nodded without saying anything else. Since he had chosen to cooperate, he naturally would. He also knew that based on his previous actions, even if he didn't get the death penalty, he would definitely get life imprisonment. Even if he got a fixed-term sentence, he was already in his 40s, and it was uncertain whether he would be able to leave prison before his death. Before going to prison, there were some things he had to explain. Although Liu Bojia was a tomb robber, he was also a man who knew how to repay kindness. Last time, the person who rescued me from the psychopathic murderer was one of yours, Liu Bojia asked. Why are you asking? Song Lingshan was slightly taken aback. My family fortune is about 30 million. I'll give him 10 million as a reward, Liu Bojia said. Thank him for saving my life. Your money is considered black money and will be confiscated, Song Lingshan said calmly. No, my money comes from legitimate sources. I earned it by writing for magazines and serving as a guide and expert for various professional expedition organizations. There is an account book in my study, which has recorded all the money I earned. Liu Bojia smiled and said, as for the antiques obtained from tomb robbery, I didn't sell any of them. They are all in the basement of my house. You will know when you go and see them. Oh, Song Lingshan was stunned, then nodded. If that's the case, the police will consider respecting your wishes. Also, I will give another 10 million to the doctor who saved my life today as a reward, Liu Bojia said. There will be 10 million left. If I can get out of prison during my lifetime, it will be enough for me to live. I have no wife and children, and there is no use for so much money. It is better to give them to those who have helped me. If I am sentenced to death, then you can donate the remaining 10 million to archaeological research institutions. It is also the last wish of me as an archaeologist. Song Lingshan didn't expect that Liu Bojia was not a heinous criminal. He still had kindness and conscience. Actually, if you think about it carefully, his crime wasn't the most heartless. The person who saved you that day and the one who saved you today are the same person. Song Lingshan didn't want to lie to Liu Bojia. Are you sure you're going to give him the 20 million? The same person. Song Lingshan's words also made Liu Bojia stunned. Is he a doctor? Yes, and no. Song Lingshan didn't answer the question directly. Can I see him? Liu Bojia pondered for a moment, then suddenly asked. You want to see him? What's the matter? Song Lingshan was a little puzzled by Liu Bojia's request. He saved me, and I want to give him some benefits, Liu Bojia said. Can you help me contact him? What benefits? Song Lingshan asked curiously. It has nothing to do with my own case, so I can keep it secret from you. Liu Bojia was also single, and knowing he was going to jail, he didn't care. Okay, I'll help you contact them, but it's not up to me to decide whether or not to meet. Song Lingshan nodded. If this benefit was for someone else, Song Lingshan might have inquired about it, but since Liu Bojia said he wanted to give Lin Yi a benefit, Song Lingshan didn't want to ask. She still wanted Lin Yi to get some benefit. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have lost so much ki, which would have been a huge loss. Liu Bojia nodded. I'm tired and need to rest. When I recover, I'll give you the information about the tomb. Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan didn't stay long and left Liu Bojia's ward. I didn't expect Liu Bojia to be so cooperative this time. Song Lingshan was really surprised by Liu Bojia's attitude this time. She had originally thought that it would take several psychological attacks to get him to speak. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 755 give you some benefits. Perhaps, after this life or death experience, he's finally figured it out, Chen Yushan said. People who've experienced life and death are always different, perhaps. Song Lingshan nodded and called Lin Yi. Lin Yi had just finished seeing Zhong Pinliang and was not far from the ward when Song Lingshan called. What's up? Liu Bojia is awake and wants to see you, Song Lingshan said. Want to see me? What for? Lin Yi couldn't figure out what Liu Bojia wanted to see him for. He said he wanted to thank you and give you something, Song Lingshan said. He originally said he'd give you 20 million as a reward, but then he heard I was a doctor, so he wanted to meet you and give you something. Oh, Lin Yi was a little confused. What kind of benefit could Liu Bojia offer him? But since it was a good thing, Lin Yi had no reason to refuse. He had saved him twice, and yet he hadn't received anything in return. So she asked, is he still in the hospital? Yes, in the same ward, Song Lingshan said. Where are you? I'm at the hospital too. I'll be there now, Lin Yi said, and hung up. Then, Lin Yi sent a text message to the eldest lady and Chen Yashu, telling them he had other things to do at the hospital and would not be following the car back to school, asking them to go back first. Sister Yao, why is Brother Arrow so busy every day? Chen Yashu felt that Lin Yi was constantly busy with all sorts of things. I don't know. Maybe he's not a follower at all. His appearance in the villa was just a coincidence. Chu Mengyao found herself increasingly confused about Lin Yi. From the migrant worker who initially came to the city to the mysterious master he is now. Oh, will he really leave in the future? Chen Yashu felt a little disappointed. Yes, he should. We've grown up now. We need to learn to protect ourselves and shouldn't always bother others. Chu Mengyao looked out the car window, in the direction where Lin Yi disappeared, a hint of melancholy in her eyes. Sister Yao, but I don't want to grow up. Chen Yashu shook her head. Even if you don't want to, you have to think about it. You are not a child anymore. Chu Mengyao pinched Chen Yashu's cheek. Look, you don't cry even when I pinch you, so you are not a child anymore. Wow, I'm crying, Chen Yashu cried. Chu Mengyao ignored her, turned her head away, and seemed to be thinking about something. Lin Yi saw Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan at the door of Liu Bojia's ward. Lin Yi, Song Lingshan walked towards Lin Yi. You are here? Liu Bojia just said that he wanted to rest for a while. Should I go see him? No, I'll just go in directly. Lin Yi shook his head. Rest? Liu Bojia has been resting for so many days, and he must be in good spirits now. Seeing Lin Yi say this, Song Lingshan didn't say much, because since Lin Yi did this, he must have his reasons. Lin Yi pushed the door and walked into Liu Bojia's ward. Sure enough, Liu Bojia was not resting, but writing and drawing something on paper. Seeing Lin Yi come in, he was stunned. "Who are you, looking for me?" Lin Yi didn't answer Liu Bojia's question, but instead asked, "Are you the one who saved me twice?" Liu Bojia wasn't stupid either, and immediately guessed Lin Yi's identity. Lin Yi nodded. "It's me, I'm a person who always returns favors." Liu Bojia nodded, not doubting Lin Yi's identity. Although Lin Yi looked a little too young, Liu Bojia, who relied on his skills to make a living, knew the saying ambition transcends age. Since Lin Yi was able to appear here, it meant he had the police's permission. If it wasn't the one who saved him, then who else could it be? "How, I don't like saving people for free," Lin Yi shrugged. "If Song Lingshan hadn't been pestering me, I wouldn't have come to save you." "Huh, that's straightforward," Liu Bojia smiled. "That's perfect, exactly what I want. What do you have to offer me?" 20 million, Lin Yi asked Liu Bojia calmly. "I don't think you'll be interested in that. With your medical skills, you can easily earn 20 million, Liu Bojia waved his hand. He had narrowly escaped death this time, and the hospital was helpless, but Lin Yi cured him. With such medical skills, Lin Yi would definitely not be short of money. "How?" Lin Yi smiled, but said nothing. "Did the police tell you my identity?" Liu Bojia asked. "No, I didn't ask," Lin Yi shook his head. "I'm an archaeologist and a tomb robber." Liu Bojia briefly introduced himself to Lin Yi, then said, "According to my research in ancient books, this tomb near Songshan is very likely the tomb of Zhang Liju, a folk medical saint from the late Song dynasty and early Yuan dynasty. You're a doctor, and this tomb may have what you need." "Oh? You mean for me to dig the tomb?" Lin Yi was stunned. Zhang Liju, Lin Yi seemed to have seen this name in one of the old man's books. "The police might go, and with your connections, you can go too." Liu Bojia handed Lin Yi a document. "This is my deduced location of the tomb's mechanism and some methods for breaking it. It's not comprehensive, but it will be helpful. Why don't you give it to the police?" Lin Yi took the document, glanced at it, and asked. "This has nothing to do with my case. I'll say what I want to say, and I won't." Liu Bojia smiled. "Thank you." Lin Yi took the document, but he didn't doubt Liu Bojia's words. Liu Bojia didn't seem to be talking at the moment. From Lin Yi's observation, everything he said was probably true. Besides, he had no reason to lie. "We don't owe each other anything. As for the 20 million, take it if you want. If you don't want it, donate it for me. It doesn't matter where it's donated, it's your money." Liu Bojia smiled, closed his eyes, and said nothing more. Lin Yi put the document in his pocket and left the ward. Song Lingshan and Chen Yushan were waiting at the ward door. Seeing Lin Yi come out, Song Lingshan hesitated to speak. "Nothing, I'm leaving now." Lin Yi glanced at Song Lingshan, knowing that she wanted to ask what benefits Liu Bojia had given him, but Lin Yi did not take the initiative to tell her. Okay, although Song Lingshan was curious, she still felt that she shouldn't know so much. What if what Liu Bojia gave Lin Yi violated her principles, then should she intervene or not? Song Lingshan had a headache. She was a very principled person, but this sudden thought surprised her. Since when did she care about Lin Yi's interests? Chapter 756 Trouble Again. Song Lingshan, Chen Yushan saw Song Lingshan staring blankly at Lin Yi's departing figure, feeling a pang of bitterness in his heart. "Huh?" Song Lingshan paused, then recovered. "What's up?" "Nothing, Mr. Lin has already left." Chen Yushan smiled. "Oh, I see," Song Lingshan sighed. "I'll go back to the police station first." "Are you here?" "I'd better stay here." Chen Yushan pondered for a moment, then said, "I wonder if the Red Pagoda Tomb Robbing Group will send someone else to assassinate Liu Bojia. I've already contacted the local armed police, and they'll send someone to assist me." Song Lingshan nodded and returned to the police station. However, on the way back, she received another call from Chief Chen. The content of Chief Chen's call left Song Lingshan deeply upset. City leaders were secretly investigating vegetable prices at the market today, but a thief stole their phone and wallet. This thief has become quite rampant. Normally, the criminal police team wouldn't be responsible for handling these thieves. The police stations below them would handle the crackdown. However, this time, the city leaders had been alerted, and Chief Chen had pointed out that the thieves in Songshan City had formed a gang, engaging in organized and disciplined criminal activities. This necessitated an investigation by the criminal police team. Although no deadline had been set for solving the case, with the city leaders urging them to do so, how could they not solve it quickly? Song Lingshan wondered how unlucky she was. One problem after another, This constant stream of problems seemed endless. She had just taken over as captain of the criminal police team. Even when she was deputy captain, she hadn't seen so many cases. Furthermore, this gang must have been around for a long time. Why did they have to deal with it now? Chief Chen had spoken personally, so what else could Song Lingshan do? She could only follow orders unconditionally. However, this group of thieves had a strict organizational structure. Catching a few thieves wouldn't seriously damage the entire gang, and it might even alert the enemy. Song Lingshan drove in frustration, mulling over how to deal with this thief gang. She pondered for a long time, but came up empty-handed. Ordinary thieves were usually handled by the police, and there were no records filed with the criminal police. Even if Song Lingshan tried to come up with a solution, it would be impossible. She could only go back and sort out the information beforehand. Instinctively, Song Lingshan pulled out her phone, but after doing so, she gave another wry smile. How had she become so addicted? She always wanted to call Lin Yi whenever she had trouble. She used to only call Lin Yi when she had a problem she couldn't handle, but now, no matter what, Song Lingshan's first thought was Lin Yi. Never mind, she'd just give him a try. Song Lingshan's thinking was simple, asking was better than not asking. After all, bothering Lin Yi had become a habit, and she felt she owed him so many favors that she felt no pressure. Shortly after Lin Yi left the hospital, he received a call from Song Lingshan. "What's up?" Lin Yi answered, puzzled by the fact that Song Lingshan had called him again so quickly. "Lin Yi, do you know anyone from the theft gang?" Song Lingshan asked, hoping to give it a try. "Theft gang?" "No," Lin Yi replied bluntly. Although this was the answer Song Lingshan had expected, she was still a little disappointed. Really, Song Lingshan was still unwilling to give up. She felt that Lin Yi was omnipotent. Whenever she asked him for help, he would always solve the problem. "No, why would I know them?" Lin Yi said impatiently. "Are you okay?" Yes. "Good man, don't get angry." Song Lingshan was startled, and her voice became soft and pitiful. "Then can you help this silly girl keep an eye out for them? It's the thief gang." "Oh, I'll tell you when I see them." Lin Yi hung up the phone directly, feeling a little amused. Did Song Lingshan really tell him everything? Song Lingshan hung up the phone angrily. She told him when she saw it? Doesn't that mean she didn't say anything? Who could see a theft gang for no reason? Song Lingshan was getting angry, but suddenly her eyes fixed on a girl not far away on the road. She was dressed very cutely, and at this moment, she was putting her evil hands into the pockets of a pot-bellied man. Soon, the girl succeeded, took out a big wallet, and walked to the side to count it with a smile. Song Lingshan sneered in her heart. It was really a case of searching for iron shoes without any effort, but it came to her without any effort. This girl was a habitual offender. She had encountered her several times before, but she had never been able to catch her. This time, she could ask her to see if she could get any information about the theft gang. Song Lingshan parked the car on the side of the road, got out of the car and quietly approached the girl. Xuanyuan was so happy today. She had seen a fat man who was rich but unkind. Because a little girl selling flowers blocked his way, he got out of his BMW and kicked the little girl to the curb. He ignored the little girl's crying, parked the car and turned away. Passers-by were angry but dared not speak out, so Xuanyuan directly locked her target on this fat man who was rich but unkind. The fat man's vigilance was very poor, so Xuanyuan succeeded easily. When she opened his wallet, she found that he had quite a lot of money. After counting, there were about 7 or 8,000 yuan. Xuanyuan didn't expect that she was so lucky. She had met big fat sheep in the past 2 days. Although she met a powerful character who robbed her of her hard-earned money yesterday, she was still very lucky overall. However, although Xuanyuan was happy, she did not let her guard down. What happened with Lin Yi yesterday reminded her that she should not be careless, so when Song Lingshan approached, Xuanyuan noticed it. Xuanyuan calmly put the money in the big wallet into her own wallet, and then threw the big wallet into the trash can casually. The moment Song Lingshan was about to approach, Xuanyuan ran away. Xuanyuan, stop right there. Song Lingshan was about to explode with rage. She had thought that she could catch Xuanyuan by surprise this time, but she didn't expect that Xuanyuan was so alert. She ran away as soon as she approached. "Bae, Sister Lingshan." Xuanyuan turned around, made a face, and instantly disappeared at the intersection. Song Lingshan simply didn't chase her, because she couldn't catch up with her. She had chased her twice before and almost got a stitch in the side, but she still didn't catch Yu Xiaok. Yu Xiaok. Just wait. Song Lingshan stared at the direction where Yu Xiaok disappeared, without any temper. Song Lingshan had experienced the high level of Yu Xiaok's Qinggong. Although she had been promoted to late-stage yellow rank master, it was a fantasy to catch Yu Xiaok. Chapter 757 The Miserable Zhong Pinliang. At the hospital, Zhong Pinliang's medical report quickly came back, and the result stunned both the Zhong family and their son. The kidney was showing signs of rejection, and was already necrotizing. Surgery was necessary to remove it as soon as possible. Kidney damaged. Zhong Pinliang looked at the hospital report in disbelief. Zhong Fabei, on the other hand, was pacing the ward, smoking a cigarette. Sure enough, this was the worst possible outcome. Although he had anticipated this, there was always a glimmer of hope when anticipating. Now, there was no hope at all. Damn it, Xuanyuan, you've screwed me. Zhong Pinliang was so angry that he threw the pillow on the bed to the floor. Pinliang, don't be impulsive. You're still a patient, don't get angry easily. Zhong Fabei was also furious. Xuanyuan, if you weren't going to give Pinliang a kidney transplant, why did you find a non-matching one? Of course, Zhong Fabei didn't believe Xuanyuan hadn't known about this. According to the doctor, such rejection in just 2 days meant the kidney wasn't even a match. Hadn't they done a matching test before? Dad, what should I do? The kidney I just replaced is broken. Zhong Pinliang was a little desperate. I thought I would become a healthy person in the future, but now no matter what, we should listen to the doctor and remove this kidney. Otherwise, it will be necrotic in the body and have a greater impact. Zhong Fabei pondered for a moment and made a decision. As for Xuanyuan, we will have plenty of opportunities to settle accounts with him in the future, but I really don't want to be a person with only one kidney again. It's too painful. Zhong Pinliang wanted to become a master with a yellow-level kidney before, but now, he felt like he was struck by lightning, and all his hopes were shattered. We can slowly find a kidney, Zhong Fabei said. We will work with Bing Xiao, and we will definitely have a lot of money in the future. If we have money, why worry about not being able to buy a good kidney? The most urgent thing is to remove this bad kidney. That's the only way. Zhong Pinliang clenched his fists. Xuanyuan, I will never coexist with you. You have made me suffer 3 times, including this kidney removal operation. Zhong Pinliang has been cut 3 times. Having made a decision, Zhong Fabei quickly contacted the hospital and had Zhong Pinliang undergo a kidney removal surgery. The police, on the other hand, didn't seem to be suspicious. After all, black intermediaries often cheat people, and Zhong Pinliang was unlucky. He finally got a kidney, but it was a mismatch and quickly died. Of course, Xuanyuan was also lying in the hospital room, his face in agony. He wanted to contact Zhong Pinliang, but he couldn't. His kidney was in Zhong Pinliang's body, and he didn't know if he could get it back. Although Xuanyuan could use the N family's connections to get another kidney after he was discharged, how could a replacement kidney be as good as the original one? He didn't know that Zhong Pinliang's kidney was already necrotic and needed to be removed. If he knew, he would probably cry. The news that Tang Yun's family had bought a house quickly spread throughout the shantytown. Several shantytown residents who had a good relationship with Tang's mother came to the hospital, wanting to ask her if there was any way. After all, the shantytown was still uncertain what it would look like after the relocation, and everyone wanted to buy another apartment. What? Not only is it 250,000 doff, but they also give me a fully furnished apartment and appliances. Xia Effen's parents stared at the excited Tang's mother with wide eyes, somewhat incredulous. That's right, our Xiaoi knows the big boss of the developer, and the sales manager is always looking at the big boss's face. Otherwise, do you think I'm so lucky to get a 250,000 off and still win the grand prize? Although Tang's mother didn't say it directly, the hint was obvious enough. In fact, she saw clearly that she had won an electric kettle, not a grand prize. But thinking about the look on the sales manager's face at Fatty Lai, she guessed that Fatty Lai was the boss. And Fatty Lai was so respectful to Lin Yi, like a little brother. How could Tang's mother not see it? Besides, it was clearly their family who asked Fatty Lai to do the job, and he should treat them to dinner after doing the job. How could that be right? So although Tang's mother hadn't said anything before, she couldn't help but brag about it to her neighbors when she returned to the hospital. Xiao Wang, you've found a great son-in-law, Xia Effen's mother exclaimed enviously. Your Xia Effen isn't bad either. Although Tang's mother thought Tang Yun had found a good man, Xiaofan, already a broken woman with a limp, had actually found a good boyfriend. She was incredibly lucky. Xiaofan's mother was stunned. Then she thought about it and realized that it was indeed the case. Her daughter couldn't compare to Tang Yun. Even in this situation, finding Kang Xiaobo was a blessing she hadn't earned in 8 lifetimes. Xiaobo and Lin Yi have a good relationship, so your family should be able to get a discounted house, Tang's mother said, but the most important thing is to secure the money. Without money, even the cheapest house is useless. Right, that's right. I wonder when Kaibing Real Estate will come to discuss compensation for the demolition. Xiaofan's mother shook her head. We're not as lucky as your family, getting 3 million right away. Hey, wasn't it all earned by old Tang's leg? Tang's mother beamed as she spoke of the 3 million. She didn't seem to feel the slightest bit of sadness about having traded her leg for money. Because she knew very well that, while the money was nominally paid in exchange for her leg, it wasn't really that way at all. If Lin Yi hadn't already dealt with Li Chihu's brother, would he have been so willing to give the money? Impossible. My Xiaofan's leg is broken too, but where can I get a penny? Xiaofan's mother sighed. That depends on the method. Let Kang Xiaoming pay some compensation too, Tang's mother suggested. How is that possible? How can he possibly compensate us? Xiaofan's mother shook her head. As the group was talking, Tang's mother's phone rang. I'll take a call first. Tang's mother looked at the caller ID with some confusion. It was an unfamiliar number. Tang's mother didn't make many calls. Apart from Tang Yun and Tang Zhechen, no one else did. Hello, Tang's mother answered the phone. Hello, is this Ms. Wang Yuji? Xuanyuan tried to sound as polite as possible on the other end of the line. It's me, and you are. Tang's mother was stunned, unsure of who the other person was. Hello, Ms. Wang, I'm Xuanyuan, the demolition project manager for Kaibing Real Estate Development Company, Xuanyuan said politely. Xuanyuan? Demolition project manager for Kaibing Real Estate, Mother Tang repeated Xuanyuan's name and title, becoming even more confused. What do you want from me? Chapter 758 Demolition Compensation. Although Mother Tang knew Lin Yi's power, she was still somewhat afraid of the people from Kaibing Real Estate. They were like the underworld, extremely overbearing. Without Lin Yi's protection, she wouldn't have dared to interact with them. Well, didn't we demolish your house earlier? So, your relocation compensation has been approved. We'd like to ask you to come to Kaibing Real Estate's headquarters, Kaibing Building, at 8 a.m. tomorrow to discuss the compensation, Xuanyuan said. Huh? Relocation compensation? Mother Tang was taken aback. She'd assumed that the 3 million Lin Yi had requested already included relocation compensation, so why was he offering her another payment? Of course, since we demolished your house, we'll naturally give you relocation compensation, Xuanyuan said. Of course, we've tentatively set the figure at 2 million. You'll need to come tomorrow to discuss the specifics. If you feel it's not enough, you can raise the amount tomorrow. Okay, 8 a.m., right? I'll be there. Mother Tang was stunned. 2 million more out of nowhere? Okay, when you get here, take the elevator from the underground parking lot directly to the second floor, and you'll see the demolition project team, Xuanyuan said suggestively, implying that Tang's mother asked Lin Yi to drive her there. Okay, I've got that. No problem, see you tomorrow. Tang's mother quickly wrote it down. After hanging up the phone, everyone looked at her with some confusion. Xiao Wang, what's wrong? What about demolition compensation? Xiaofan's mother asked curiously. Did my house get demolished? Just now, someone named Xuanyuan from the demolition project team at Kaibing Real Estate Company called me and told me to go to their company tomorrow to collect the compensation. 2 million. Tang's mother was shocked by the figure. Her own shabby house was worth at most a few $100,000 or so. How could they possibly get 2 million in compensation all at once? Tang's mother's first thought was Lin Yi's credit. Wasn't Kaibing Real Estate Company still run by Li Chihu and Bing Xiao? Could it be that after Li Chihu went back today, she got scared again, afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble for them, and rushed to curry favor with Lin Yi again? Thinking about it, this was the only possibility. 2 million. Xiaofan's mother was stunned upon hearing this figure, and so were the other neighbors. They were stunned beyond words after hearing the figure. Your house is worth 2 million, Liu Xingwen's mother exclaimed after a pause. HMPH, they must be afraid of Lin Yi, so they gave it 2 million. Otherwise, that shabby house wouldn't even be worth 200,000, and 2 million, Although Tang's mother spoke calmly, she was incredibly happy inside. I told you, our shabby house is worth 2 million. 2 million could buy a villa. Xiaofen's mother shook her head. If they can give us 100 or 80,000, that's good. Don't say that. This is all about negotiation, Tang's mother laughed. Xiaofen's mother and Liu Xinwen's mother sighed. Negotiate? We don't have a powerful figure like Lin Yi. How can we negotiate? Will they negotiate with us? Thinking of the gap between their own family and others, Xiaofen's mother, Liu Xinwen's mother, and the others lost interest. After a few words, they left to discuss how to deal with the developers' negotiations. Before, they all thought Tang Yun's family was unlucky. The first to be pushed out of the house because they were the first to be shot. But now, it seems that they are the best. After the neighbors left, Tang's mother immediately told Tang Yun the good news. Yuner, Kaibing Real Estate Company just called me and wants to compensate our family for 2 million in demolition costs. Tang's mother had just seen a huge sum of 3 million, and now she received another 2 million. She was not as excited as before. 2 million in compensation? Seriously, Tang Yun was a little incredulous. Did they just pay us 3 million? Why are they asking for another 2 million today? I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of Lin Yi? They want to spend money to curry favor, afraid that Lin Yi will cause them trouble again, Tang's mother speculated. Didn't that Li Chihua seem quite scared of Lin Yi yesterday, coursing favor? There's no need for that, right? Tang Yun grew skeptical after hearing her mother's words. Even though he's afraid of Lin Yi hasn't asked, so why would they offer money? This seems a bit unreasonable. Unreasonable? Why is it unreasonable? Isn't it good enough for them to give us money? Tang's mother thought Tang Yun was being a little too cautious. It's not that it's bad, but why would they give us money? Mom, I think there's something wrong with this. Tang Yun couldn't help but feel that something was amiss. How could Li Chihua offer money of their own accord? Before, when Lin Yi asked him for 3 million, he was somewhat reluctant to give it. Why would he offer it now? Won't we know tomorrow if there's any problem? Tang's mother, however, was unconcerned. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, they've asked us to go to the second floor of Kaibing building to collect our compensation. Ask Lin Yi if he's free and have him pay us. Oh, Tang Yun had been about to ask Lin Yi what Li Chihua is up to. He'd given us 3 million before, and now another 2. Lin Yi was on his way to school when Tang Yun called. When he heard that Kaibing Real Estate had asked them to go to Kaibing building tomorrow to collect their compensation, he was stunned. Kaibing building is finished so quickly. Tang Yun had expected Lin Yi to be curious about the compensation, but she hadn't expected him to ask that question. She couldn't help but be amused by Lin Yi. Why, do you still want to tear it down? Oh, I'll do it if you provoke me again, Lin Yi smiled. His building collapsed, and he's still giving your family money? He's nuts, isn't he? I think so too. Do you think there's something wrong here? Tang Yun had been worried about this. If you have the money and don't take it, wouldn't you be a fool? Lin Yi didn't think there would be any problem. Since they are giving me money, I will accompany you to get it tomorrow. But Tang Yun still felt something was wrong. Even if there is a problem, what can you do? I am here, what are you afraid of? Lin Yi thought very clearly. Even if Li Chihua and Zhao Kaibing wanted to do something, what could they do? His strength has been fully restored. It is impossible for them to keep him. Yes, Tang Yun nodded in agreement after hearing what Lin Yi said. Yes, with Lin Yi here, what else is there to worry about? Thinking of this, Tang Yun let go of the uneasiness in her heart. Chapter 759 Someone from the Yu family is coming. After ending her call with Lin Yi, Tang Yun texted her mother, informing her that Lin Yi would accompany her to the Kaibing building tomorrow to collect the demolition compensation. Tang's mother was naturally relieved to hear that Lin Yi would be accompanying her. Li Chihua was so afraid of Lin Yi, so how could she expect to receive more money tomorrow? From Su Nianghua's tone, it seemed as if the compensation amount could be increased. Lin Yi didn't take the matter to heart. Returning to school, he felt relieved to see the eldest lady and Chen Yashu in the classroom. Lin Yi had a feeling that things were turbulent these days, so he ought to be cautious. And his feeling was correct, for at that very moment, in the Guanshan Doctor Pharmaceuticals building, Fatty Lie's office had an unexpected visitor. Although Guanshan Doctor Pharmaceuticals products hadn't officially launched, the company itself was already taking shape. It had been completely restructured from a former trading company, with only a few new departments added. For a seasoned professional like Fatty Lie, This was a piece of cake. After accompanying Lin Yi and Tang Yun's family to buy a house, Fatty Lai returned to Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company. Having just capitalized on the first high school student poisoning incident to build Guanshenya Pharmaceutical's reputation, Fatty Lai was ready to capitalize on this success by launching his company's first product, Guanshenya Trauma Medicine, into the market. Fatty Lai was preparing a marketing plan and wanted to call a meeting with the company's top executives. However, just as he returned to the office, his secretary called. Mr. Lai, a client wants to see you. He's from Yanjing and wants to discuss a partnership with our company, the secretary said. Look, I'm already back at the office. Where is he? Fatty Lai was stunned. Someone was already discussing a partnership before his company's product even launched? However, Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company had recently become quite famous, and had been a major draw at Yanjing auctions. If this client was from Yanjing, then there was a possibility. It's in the VIP room next to the general manager's office, the secretary lowered her voice. Mr. Lai, this client looks very young. Oh, age isn't a sign of strength. Let me see first, Fatty Lai thought. Isn't Lin Yi also young? But he's certainly formidable. When Fatty Lai entered the company, the employees all greeted him. Although the company was called Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company, the employees knew that the day-to-day management power rested with Fatty Lai, and they all held him in awe. Fatty Lai took the elevator upstairs and, without stopping, went straight to the VIP room. This was his first client, and Fatty Lai had to treat him with respect. Seeing Fatty Lai enter the VIP room, the secretary quickly stood to greet him. Mr. Lai, you're here. This is Mr. Yu, our client from Yanjing. Mr. Yu? Fatty Lai's eyes fixed. Someone with the surname Yu? Could he be from the Yu family in Yanjing? Were they seeking a partnership? Fatty Lai nodded and calmly said to his secretary, Yes, I understand. You can go back to your business. Yes, Mr. Lai. The secretary poured tea and placed it in front of Fatty Lai and Mr. Yu before exiting the reception room. Mr. Lai, right, the young man's surname Yu seemed a bit arrogant. He didn't stand up, but instead glanced at Lai Chang'ai calmly and said, Let me introduce myself. My name is Yukun, and this is my business card. Yukun then took out his own card and handed it to Fatty Lai. Fatty Lai didn't mind Yukun's arrogance. As a businessman, he didn't show his emotions on his face. He still smiled and took Yukun's card, glancing at the message, Yu's Trading, Assistant General Manager Yukun. Yu's Trading? Fatty Lai no longer had any doubts. This Yukun, it seemed, was indeed from the Yu family. So, a somewhat arrogant attitude was understandable. The Yu family, the head of the 4 great families and 5 minor ones, surely has a certain sense of superiority. Hello, Assistant Yukun. Fatty Lai smiled and stood up to shake Yukun's hand, but inwardly he sneered. There's no need for you to act so arrogant with me. We've been in a different boat for a while now, and sooner or later, your Yu family will come running to fill my shoes. And even then, you'll need permission from me, your little brother. I don't believe that no matter how powerful your Yu family is, you're all immortal monsters, immune to birth, old age, sickness, and death. If you have an illness that no one else can cure, and you want to stay alive, just come and beg me, right? Yukun still didn't get up, but just sat there, extending his hand to shake Fatty Lai's hand. Let's not say anything extra. Let's get to the point, Mr. Yu, please speak. Fatty Lai nodded, sitting across from Yukun, looking attentively listening. The hardcover editions of Dr. Guan's longevity and detoxification pills and trauma medicine were both huge hits at our Yu family's auction. I heard your new product is about to launch? It's called Dr. Guan's Trauma Medicine, Yukun asked calmly. That's right, it's in the final stages of preparation and will probably be released soon. Fatty Lai didn't hide anything. These were all things he had said at the press conference, so there was no need to keep them secret. Well, while the hardcover editions of your longevity and detoxification pills and trauma medicine have received positive reviews, the future prospects of this trauma medicine are still unknown, right? Yukun glanced at Fatty Lai and said condescendingly. Haha, of course. With something that hasn't been released yet, no one can say for sure. Fatty Lai still smiled, but he was deeply dissatisfied with Yukun. Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you question the future of our trauma medicine? You idiot. If you weren't from the Yu family, I'd kick you out of this reception room. It seems Mr. Lai is a smart man. This time, I'm here on behalf of the Yu family, and I'm going to give you a favor for Guanshen Yu Pharmaceutical Company." Yu Kun glanced at Fatty Lai calmly. "But before that, Mr. Lai must answer a few questions of mine truthfully." "Oh? What questions?" Fatty Lai felt increasingly annoyed. "Is Yu Kun a moron? He's here to give me a favor? With his attitude, what good can he possibly get? Why would the Yu family send such a fool?" In fact, there was nothing wrong with the Yu family sending Yu Kun. Yu Kun was one of the best of the third generation of the Yu family, currently possessing the strength of the peak of the late yellow rank, and was definitely a master among the younger generation. Chapter 760, for the remaining map. Moreover, if Yu Kun's negotiation partner wasn't Fatty Lai, but another family eager to ascend to aristocratic status, like the Kang family, then regardless of Yu Kun's attitude, they would be respectfully grateful. This was the Yu family's prestige, their pride in their superiority. Therefore, in the eyes of the Yu family, Yu Kun's attitude was perfectly legitimate. The Yu family negotiating a partnership with others was a form of alms, a form of grace. But this time, they had chosen the wrong target. In Fatty Lai's mind, Lin Yi was supreme. The Yu family was nothing compared to Lin Yi. So, the Yu family was so awesome? Then why did you buy our longevity and detoxification pills? The question is simple. Mr. Lai once won a damaged painting at our Yu family auction. I wonder what Mr. Lai's intention was in buying it, Yu Kun asked directly. He didn't think Fatty Lai would be so secretive in the face of the Yu family's power. To be able to participate in the Yu family auction, he must have known the Yu family's background. Who would dare to go against the Yu family? Incomplete picture? What incomplete picture? Fatty Lai was stunned. How could he have taken a picture of an incomplete picture? Yu Kun was also stunned when he saw Fatty Lai's expression. He was a martial artist and was good at observing people's words and expressions. Judging from Fatty Lai's astonishment at that moment, Fatty Lai didn't seem to know much about this incomplete picture. However, after being astonished, Fatty Lai suddenly remembered that he had indeed helped Lin Yi take a picture of an incomplete picture. Could it be that the people from the Yu family came this time just for this incomplete picture? Are cooperation and benefits just excuses? Thinking of this, Fatty Lai felt it was very likely. Obviously, Yu Kun came here with a purpose, and that purpose was the incomplete picture. What kind of secrets are contained in the incomplete picture? Mr. Lai, are you just a forgetful person? Yu Kun looked at Fatty Lai sarcastically. You won a fragment of a map at the auction, don't you remember? I remember, Fatty Lai admitted, knowing he couldn't hide it. But I bought it out of curiosity, so I didn't remember it until you asked me so suddenly. Indeed, there is such a parchment map, since you remember, Mr. Lai, that's great. What did you buy this map for? Can you tell me? Or do you have any other fragments of similar maps? Yu Kun was now 80% certain that Fatty Lai didn't know what the fragment was for. Otherwise, Fatty Lai wouldn't have looked so stunned when he asked earlier. Just curious, no big deal. As for similar fragments, I've never seen one before. Fatty Lai shook his head. Really? Yu Kun clearly didn't believe Fatty Lai's words. While Fatty Lai might not know the secret of the fragment, why would he buy such a useless thing if he hadn't seen any? Of course it's true, Fatty Lai smiled. Well, in that case, if you hand over the incomplete map to me, I'll still give you a benefit. Yu Kun decided to change his strategy and ask Fatty Lai to hand over the incomplete map. If it was truly useful to him, he wouldn't give it up. If it wasn't, he would definitely hand it over without hesitation. Oh, you want to give me a benefit? Mr. Yu, could you please explain what that benefit is? Fatty Lai asked, rather than agreeing directly. It's okay to tell you. If you hand over the incomplete map, the exclusive distribution rights for Guanshen Yu's products will be transferred to Yu's trading company, Yu Kun said calmly. From now on, all you have to do is sit back and count the money. Huh? Fatty Lai looked at Yu Kun in disbelief. You call that a benefit? You're quite greedy, asking for the national distribution rights for our company's products right off the bat? Are you a fool, or do you think I am? The sales of Guanshen Yu's products were foreseeable. Fatty Lai knew Lin Yi's prowess and the effectiveness of the products. It was a sure thing, whoever became the distributor would make the money. Fatty Lai wasn't about to give up the agency rights. He already had a ready-made trading company, which had already been merged into Guanshen Yu Pharmaceutical Company to become the marketing and sales department. He could completely establish his own sales channels, so why give up the profits to others? Of course, if a small, unknown company or business could establish a relationship with Yu's Trading and have Yu's Trading as the general agent, then they wouldn't have to worry about selling their products. The Yu family had extensive connections, and wealthy families everywhere would give them face. So normally, if the Yu family became the agent for a new product, the company would save a lot of effort. Not only would they save on channel fees and advertising costs, but they wouldn't have to worry about product sales. Everything would be decided by the Yu family. However, to Fatty Lai, this was undoubtedly like asking for too much. How could this be considered a benefit? It was clearly you trying to get something out of me. How is it? Are the conditions good? Yu Kun saw Fatty Lai's surprised look and thought he was stunned by such generous conditions. He couldn't help but feel very proud. Haha, if it's an agency partnership, then I'm sorry I can't make the decision, because we at Guanshen Yu Pharmaceuticals already have a marketing department and we're our own distribution channel. Fatty Lai gave an apologetic smile. However, if Yu's Trading wants to place a bulk order for some trauma medicine, we'll give you a very generous price. What do you mean? Yu Kun's face immediately darkened. He hadn't expected Fatty Lai to refuse. The Yu family had offered to be the distributor for Guanshen Yu Pharmaceuticals products, and were rejected? Yu Kun felt humiliated. Not only did he lose face, but the Yu family too. Fatty Lai was so unkind to something others were eager to get. Did he know how extensive the Yu family's sales channels were? He was dreaming of establishing his own distribution channel for a new product that hadn't even been launched yet. The market was dominated by Kang Shenyu's Jinshuang medicine, and you, a new brand, were dreaming of building your own? You had indeed established some reputation in high society, but you were dreaming of expecting the general public to recognize you without the Yu family's connections. Haha, Mr. Yu, I don't own the company alone. I'm just a manager. My purview is limited to product supply and sales. As for agency rights, I don't have that authority because the company's original plan was to be the agency itself. Fatty Lai shrugged. Okay, very good. I hope Mr. Lai doesn't regret your decision. Yu Kun gave Fatty Lai a resentful look, wondering why he was so unwise. Chapter 761. Is this a benefit? The Yu family was very optimistic about the products of Guanshen Yu Pharmaceutical Company. After all, their efficacy had been proven, and as long as they had the hardcover version of the trauma medicine, it would be very useful. So the Yu family smelled a business opportunity and wanted to obtain the general agency rights of Guanshen Yu Pharmaceutical Company before it became famous and big. Then they would not have to worry about the future, and the money would roll in. In the eyes of the Yu family, although Guanshen Yu Pharmaceutical Company had good products, it was a small company after all, and would definitely be nervous when the new products were first launched. If a behemoth like the Yu family cooperated with it, they would be extremely happy. They might even give up a lot of profits. The Yu family had a good plan, so Yu Kun was so arrogant. He didn't want to hide a wall with Fatty Lai and lose face. His previous arrogant attitude seemed like a monkey trick. The other party simply had no intention of handing over the agency rights. He was simply being self-indulgent. This isn't my personal decision. I've already said I'm just a professional manager. Fatty Lai smiled. Mr. Yu, besides that, what other benefits can you offer us? Fatty Lai's words sounded like a mockery to Yu Kun. Yu Kun's face flushed red, and he looked at Fatty Lai with hatred. Name your price for the incomplete map. Sorry, I'm not short of money, and I even gave it away. Fatty Lai shook his head. Give it away? You actually gave it away? Yu Kun, overcome with excitement, lost his usual good attitude. He was one of the most accomplished children of the Yu family for 3 generations, a sought-after figure wherever he went. Yet, here he was, facing setbacks at every turn. He had lost his patience and was already a little angry. I bought it with my own money, why can't I give it away? Fatty Lai shrugged. Okay, very good. We'll see. Yu Kun suddenly stood up, turned, and strode out of the reception room. You'll know the price of offending the Yu family. Offending the Yu family? Fatty Lai sneered as he watched Yu Kun's retreating figure. This is a member of the Yu family? What a thing. He'd always been kind to him, but simply rejecting his overbearing proposals was considered an offense to the Yu family? With such upbringing, the Yu family probably wouldn't last more than 3 generations. In the past, Fatty Lai might have been afraid of the Yu family, worried they would hinder his company in the future. But now, Fatty Lai had followed Lin Yi, and he felt that Lin Yi was omnipotent. Compared to him, the Yu family was nothing. After Yukon left, Fatty Lai called Lin Yi directly. He had to tell Lin Yi about this. "Boss, are you free to talk now?" Fatty Lai asked. "Go ahead." Lin Yi had just arrived at the school and had no classes today, so he answered the phone in the classroom, unnoticed. "Just now, the Yu family sent someone to the company," Fatty Lai said. "It's a young man named Yukon, who looks to be in his 20s, the Yu family?" "Yukon? What are they doing here?" Hearing the word Yu family, Lin Yi took a deep breath. "They're mainly here to inquire about that incomplete map you won at the Yu family's auction last time," Fatty Lai said. "They asked me if I knew what the incomplete map was used for, and if I'd ever seen anything like it before." "Oh? Could it be that they deliberately put the incomplete map from the last auction up for auction?" Lin Yi suddenly thought of the young man who had followed him that night. He was quite skilled in martial arts, and at first he'd thought he was sent by the Kang family. But now he thought, how could the Kang family have any masters? Besides someone from an aristocratic family, who else could possibly bring down a yellow rank master? Could he also be from the Yu family? Was he following him and the others just after the incomplete map? "That's possible," Fatty Lai nodded. "Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried to bid for the incomplete map from me. If they wanted it, they could have gotten it at auction. No need for such a roundabout way." "How?" Lin Yi smiled faintly. "An incomplete map? It really looked like a treasure." Lin Yi had put it in a drawer, unsure of its use, and never took it out to study. But now the Yu family thought it was a treasure? Could they know the secret within the incomplete map? Also, the funny thing is, this Yukon keeps asking for a favor. And the so-called favor is exclusive distribution rights for our company's products. It's absolutely ridiculous. Is that a favor? He wants a favor, right? Fatty Lai said sarcastically. How, if it were any other small company, they might see it as a favor. Lin Yi smiled faintly and warned, the Yu family has many experts. Pay attention to your safety and don't confront them head-on. Of course I know. I've always been neither humble nor overbearing. It's just that Yukon is a little too arrogant. Fatty Lai shook his head. He left just like that? Without saying anything else, Lin Yi didn't believe the Yu family would give up. If they were truly after the broken map, they would surely take further action. They told me to wait and see, to show me the price of offending the Yu family, Fatty Lai said. I understand. Lin Yi's lips curled slightly. The Yu family, whether you're a hidden family or a behemoth, it's best not to mess with me. Otherwise, in the end, no one will be in good shape. Lin Yi hung up the phone, unconcerned. Since the Yu family wouldn't give up, he'd just wait for them to come knocking on his door. After hanging up, Lin Yi glanced at the text messages on his phone. When he answered the call earlier, there was a text message. My daddy wants to treat you to dinner tonight. It was from the eldest lady. Chu Pengzhan wanted to treat him to dinner? Lin Yi thought, perhaps it was because of saving Chu Mengyao yesterday? Since Chu Pengzhan wanted to invite him, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't refuse. He texted back, okay, I understand. The eldest lady received the message, glanced down, and didn't reply. Lin Yi felt that the young lady's attitude towards him had changed since yesterday's incident. She wasn't as displeased and troubled as before. It seemed as if their relationship had calmed down, though, or was it a little distant? Because the young lady's attitude towards him was a bit distant, a bit like treating a stranger. Lin Yi couldn't guess what the young lady was thinking. In fact, the young lady herself didn't know what to think either. How should she face Lin Yi in the future? After he saw her body, could she really just let it go? Chu Mengyao had actually been unable to sleep last night. She had been thinking about the problems between her and Lin Yi all night. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 762 The Insomniac Miss. Undoubtedly, Lin Yi's arrival in the villa caused some initial confusion for Chu Mengyao. However, once she fully and sincerely accepted Lin Yi's presence, she found it hard to bear to see him go. Lin Yi cared for her meticulously, even better than her father and Uncle Fu had ever cared for her. This allowed the young lady, who had lacked maternal love since childhood, to find her own happiness. She even considered having Lin Yi stay in the villa forever, caring for her and Xiao Shu. However, Chu Mengyao knew this was impossible. There was also Tang Yun, which explained her hostility towards her. She didn't feel hostile towards Tang Yun because she loved Lin Yi, but because Tang Yun had taken away her happiness. Without Lin Yi, who would care for her? Chu Mengyao didn't want him to leave. Until yesterday, when Lin Yi looked at her body, a subtle thought occurred to her: if Lin Yi was her boyfriend, would he still be leaving? Chu Mengyao herself was shocked by the thought. Did she love Lin Yi? Was it true? That's impossible. It must be Xiaoshu's constant nonsense, all that talk about first and second wives, that's driven her a little crazy. But Chu Mengyao really wanted to keep Lin Yi and didn't want him to leave, but she didn't know how. Who could she tell? Chen Yushu? That girl was so talkative and imaginative. I'm afraid she wouldn't even make her meaning clear, and she'd make it sound like she was pursuing Lin Yi. Chu Mengyao didn't dare tell her. Her father had just called and said they wanted to go out for dinner tonight to thank Lin Yi, so Chu Mengyao casually sent him a text message. Seeing that Lin Yi agreed, Chu Mengyao felt relieved. Sister Yao, what's wrong with you? Why do you seem dazed? Chen Yushu observed Chu Mengyao for a long time. Dazed? No? Maybe I didn't sleep well last night. Chu Mengyao shook her head. Oh, then why didn't you sleep well? Chen Yushu asked. Because I'm recovering from a serious illness. Chu Mengyao naturally didn't reveal her true thoughts. Oh, I thought you were thinking about Brother Wrigley, Chen Yushu said, staring at Chu Mengyao carefully. Why would I think about him? Do you think I am you? Chu Mengyao frowned and turned her head away, not looking at Chen Yushu. Sister Yao, I noticed that something seems to be wrong with you, Chen Yushu said seriously. What's wrong now? Chu Mengyao felt that Chen Yushu was annoying. She always liked to find this and that. It's hard to say. I'll observe for a while and tell you later. Chen Yushu thought for a while and said. Chu Mengyao didn't know what to say. Then you continue to observe. I'm going to read. After speaking, Chu Mengyao picked up a review material and started reading. Chen Yushu stared at Chu Mengyao for a while, but didn't find any clues, so she went to read by herself. After school in the evening, Lin Yi drove Tang Yun back to the hospital first, and then went to Pengzhan Business Hotel. Chu Pengzhan was treating him, so this place was naturally the first choice. The Pengzhan Business Hotel seemed unusually busy today. The open-air parking lot in front of the hotel was completely empty, forcing Lin Yi to drive to the underground parking lot, which was a membership-only lot, allowing only guests with a Pengzhan Business Hotel membership card. When the parking attendant saw Lin Yi driving a shabby minivan and then pulling out a diamond card, he was stunned. Was this just some rich guy's wicked taste? Lin Yi ignored his expression. He didn't really have to show off in this shabby minivan, he just had a car he could drive, and he wasn't too lazy to change it. If it broke down or got lost, he'd just get another. The elevator in the parking lot led directly to the VIP room upstairs, the same room Chu Pengzhan had hosted him last time. Lin Yi knocked on the door. Uncle Fu quickly opened it, saw Lin Yi, and said, "Mr. Lin, you're here." Uncle Fu's initial politeness had escalated to genuine respect, a testament to his recognition of Lin Yi's abilities. Lin Yi actually fought a draw with Uncle Zhu, and Uncle Zhu was now lying in bed, but Lin Yi seemed to be fine. People with strength will always be respected by others. Uncle Fu himself is a master of the outer family of the yellow rank, so he would naturally be respectful to a master of the inner family of the profound rank, like Lin Yi. This has nothing to do with Chu Pengzhan, it's just his personal respect for Lin Yi. Uncle Fu, am I late? I've kept everyone waiting. Lin Yi walked into the private room with a smile. Oh, Brother Arrow is here, can I start eating? Chen Yushu was obviously unable to wait, and was drooling at the food on the table. Xiaoshu? Chu Mengyao glared at Chen Yushu. Don't be rude, why are you starving? Be careful not to find your in-laws in the future. Oh, as long as you can find me. Chen Yushu was nonchalant. Chu Mengyao was speechless. Xiao Yi, take a seat. Chu Pengzhan stood up from his seat and walked towards Lin Yi. Chu Pengzhan was now completely convinced of Lin Yi's abilities. Lin Yi played a significant role in his daughter's escape and the successful resolution of the school incident. Oh, Uncle Chu, you're welcome. Lin Yi quickly gestured for him to sit down. Uncle Chu, please take a seat. Chu Pengzhan was Lin Yi's elder, so Lin Yi naturally wouldn't be rude. Seeing her father stand up, Chu Mengyao couldn't sit down anymore. She took Xiaoshu's hand and stood up as well. Lin Yi, thank you for yesterday. Oh, Sister Yao, you're welcome. We're all family. You're Wrigley's wife, so naturally Wrigley had to save you. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a wife, Chen Yushu mumbled, a butter bun stuffed in her mouth. Xiaoshu, what nonsense are you talking about? Chu Mengyao was furious. A bun can't fill your mouth? Come on, have another one. Chu Mengyao casually picked up a butter bun and forced it into Chen Yushu's mouth. Woo woo, wow. Chen Yushu was speechless and rolled her eyes because of choking. Chu Pengzhan found it funny when he saw his daughter and Xiaoshu, and couldn't help laughing. Lin Yi was used to it and shrugged, don't stuff her to death again. Chu Mengyao blushed when she heard what Lin Yi said. Thinking of what happened last time, she felt a little sorry for Xiaoshu, so she pulled a steamed bun out of her mouth and put it on the plate beside her. Chu Pengzhan smiled and invited Lin Yi to take a seat. Lin Yi sat on the left of Chu Mengyao, and Chen Yushu sat on the right of Chu Mengyao. Uncle Fu and Chu Pengzhan sat opposite the three of them. Chapter 763 We are friends. Xia, today's meal is to express my gratitude to you. Thank you for saving my daughter and restoring the reputation of the school and the company. Chu Pengzhan raised the glass in front of him. Since this is a family dinner, we won't be drinking. I heard you drove here, so let's have some juice instead. Okay, Lin Yi nodded, poured some juice into the glass in front of him, and picked it up. Chu Pengzhan certainly had a lot of social events, and he would inevitably drink at those times. Although the Pengzhan Group was a large and powerful company, business had its own rules. No matter how big the deal, there was always a celebration after closing, and drinking was inevitable. So, there was no need for alcohol at the family dinner. How, saving Yao? That's what I should do. After all, I consider Yao a friend. How could I just stand by and watch her die? Lin Yi smiled. As for saving others, it was just a small favor. Besides, I have an obligation to save the company's reputation. Chu Mengyao was slightly stunned. Lin Yi, did he consider her a friend? Not his employer? For a moment, Chu Mengyao felt a little happy. It seemed that when she accepted Lin Yi also regarded her as a friend. In that case, should she curb her temper? Would it be awkward to approach Lin Yi as a friend? Thinking of the scene in the hospital yesterday, Chu Mengyao's face flushed. If she had the identity of an employer as a cover, Chu Mengyao could still face Lin Yi, but without the identity of an employer, how would she face him? In that case, I won't say much. Chu Pengzhan smiled. You're right. Personally, there's your personal relationship with Yao. Publicly, you are also a shareholder of the company. How can you stand idly by? Lin Yi, a shareholder of Daddy's company. Chu Mengyao's eyes widened, somewhat unbelievable. Daddy gave shares to Lin Yi? Is that true? Although Chu Mengyao didn't value money or material things, she didn't believe that Daddy would just give shares of the company to an outsider. Could there really be some agreement between Daddy and Lin Yi? Otherwise, why would Daddy divide up the shares? Would that split the controlling stake in the company? If Lin Yi's shares were transferred, or if Lin Yi sided with another shareholder, wouldn't his father's position be in jeopardy? Chu Mengyao didn't think Lin Yi was ungrateful, though. Chu Pengzhan noticed his daughter's puzzled look and smiled at Lin Yi. Yao doesn't know you're a shareholder? You didn't tell her. I've never considered myself a shareholder, and if we hadn't talked about this today, I'm afraid I'd have forgotten it existed, Lin Yi said with a wry smile. Lin Yi's words startled Chu Pengzhan. Perhaps only Lin Yi would act that way. Anyone else with so many shares would already be preoccupied with their daily lives, not content to continue working as a servant for the young lady on a 30,000 yuan salary. Chu Mengyao was also stunned. Lin Yi, didn't he care about shares? Yet, Lin Yi didn't seem to care about the 3 million before. It seemed like money wasn't something he cared about. Xiao is now the second largest shareholder of Pengzhan Group, Chu Pengzhan said to Chu Mengyao. Second largest shareholder? Chu Mengyao was immediately confused. It was true that her father was the company's largest shareholder, but if his shares were divided equally in half, he wouldn't even be the third largest shareholder, let alone the second. And it was impossible for her father to transfer the majority of his shares to Lin Yi, keeping a small portion for himself. Yes, Zi Guangbo has already transferred all his shares to Xia, Chu Pengzhan said. Chu Mengyao suddenly realized that it was another shareholder who had given the shares to Lin Yi. Although she didn't know the exact details, It was an indisputable fact that Lin Yi was now worth tens of millions. With such a fortune, why was he still staying in the villa? For a moment, Chu Mengyao felt a small sense of happiness. Did he consider her a friend? Was that the reason he stayed in the villa? In reality, Chu Mengyao didn't realize that Lin Yi's mission had nothing to do with the money. He had accepted it because his father had promised him that he could retire after completing it. Lin Yi was truly tired of his previously restless life and wanted to settle down. Okay, enough of this, Xiao Yi. Come on, eat. We're all hungry. There aren't any rules for a family dinner, just eat until you're full, Chu Pengzhan said, taking the first bite of meat and tucking it into his mouth, chewing vigorously. Lin Yi was also hungry and was about to eat when he suddenly noticed a butter bun on the plate in front of him, with teeth marks and a small amount of saliva on it. Was this the bun Chen Yashu had just bitten? Did the young lady pull it out and throw it on her plate? Lin Yi naturally didn't dislike Chen Yashu, she'd already given her CPR, so it wasn't much of a problem. Besides, Chen Yashu was adorable, and Lin Yi had some feelings for her, so without hesitation, he took the bun and stuffed it into his mouth. That's it, Chu Mengyao, who had been keeping an eye on Lin Yi, suddenly saw him stuffing the bun Chen Yashu had bitten into his mouth. She wanted to warn him, but it was too late. Seeing that Lin Yi had already swallowed it, Chu Mengyao knew there was no point in saying anything now. She shook her head. Lin Yi swallowed Xiao Shu's saliva? Does that count as an indirect kiss? Indirect? Had they already kissed directly? They were already on artificial respiration, and what was missing from an indirect kiss? This Xiao Shu was really not paying attention, huh? Chu Mengyao suddenly thought of a question. It seemed that Xiao Shu's attitude towards Lin Yi was really different. From childhood to adulthood, it seemed that Xiao Shu had played pranks on other boys. Only boys who like Chen Yashu would understand how miserable life was. They were either being pranked to death or being beaten to death by Chen Yushan. But, it seemed that Xiao Shu had never pranked Lin Yi. Did he play well with him? Chu Mengyao had to admit that these two sometimes teamed up to prank others, and they were quite compatible. They were a perfect match. Xiao Shu, could it be that she really liked Lin Yi? Thinking of this, Chu Mengyao felt it was very likely. Xiao Shu's attitude towards Lin Yi is obviously different from that towards other boys. She hadn't thought about it so much before, but now that she thinks about it carefully, she can see the problem. However, Chu Mengyao is still a little unsure. Is it because Chen Yashu feels that she can't play a prank on Lin Yi, and is very happy to have a prank partner like Lin Yi? That's why she is different, or is there really another reason? Chapter 764 Screams in the Villa. During the meal, Chu Mengyao was always a little absent-minded, so much so that she didn't hear Chu Pengzhan calling her. Chu Mengyao looked at her daddy in a daze. Daddy, you called me, haha, Yao, what are you thinking about? I want you to toast Xiaoi with a glass of wine. If it weren't for him yesterday, Daddy really doesn't know if he could see you, Chu Pengzhan said with a smile. Okay, Chu Mengyao subconsciously raised the glass, only to find that the juice in the glass was empty. Chen Yashu hurriedly filled the juice for her. Chu Mengyao then raised the glass again, glanced at Lin Yi, and thought of what happened yesterday. She couldn't help but feel shy, lowered her eyes and said, "Thank you, you've said it several times." Lin Yi felt a little surprised. It was rare to see the shy side of the eldest lady. She was quite beautiful. If she wasn't his employer, maybe he would pursue her? Chu Mengyao snorted softly, draining the juice from her glass before saying, "I've had it all." Lin Yi also gulped it down in one gulp. It was obvious that the young lady wasn't used to such social gatherings. Chu Pengzhan had probably rarely taken her to the banquets of wealthy families before, which was probably why she hadn't picked up those bad habits. The young lady was actually quite simple and honest, though a bit reserved, but once she got to know someone, she'd be very attentive. She might not express this out loud, but Lin Yi could sense it. Chu Pengzhan hadn't deliberately groomed Chu Mengyao into a businesswoman, which puzzled Lin Yi. Did Chu Pengzhan intend for her to take over his business in the future? Or would he adopt the more popular approach abroad, allowing Chu Mengyao to hold shares in the company, but not participate in its operations, leaving all operations to professional managers? Of course, that wasn't Lin Yi's concern. As for Lin Yi's shares in Pengzhan Group, he didn't really take them seriously. Lin Yi didn't even care about the pharmaceutical company's operations, let alone the Pengzhan Group. The meal was quite lively. Chu Pengzhan hadn't dined with Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and Lin Yi for a while. With his daughter's affairs at the company now resolved, Chu Pengzhan was beaming. After dinner, Chu Pengzhan had other matters to attend to, so he got out of the car at the company gate. The aftermath of the poisoning incident hadn't subsided, so he had to visit the company in person to assist the police with the company's legal department in collecting evidence. Just like when they arrived, Lin Yi drove his beat-up van while Uncle Fu drove a Bentley, carrying Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. The two cars returned to the villa one after the other. Initially, Lin Yi didn't want to bother Uncle Fu and wanted Miss and Chen Yushu to ride in his car, but Miss refused. "If you drive the S5 from now on," Lin Yi gave a wry smile and even considered whether he'd need a new car after his current one broke down. As the two cars pulled up in front of the villa's courtyard, one after the other, a burst of barking erupted from inside. It was General Mighty. Lin Yi's mind subconsciously tensed, and he touched the jade pendant on his chest. The jade pendant sent a signal, and in that instant, Lin Yi entered a state of alert, ready to respond to the enemy. General Mighty would never bark for no reason, especially when Chu Mengyao and he returned. If it were a stranger, he might react. But the key was that these were all familiar people. General Mighty was already very familiar with Lin Yi, Chu Mengyao, Chen Yushu, and even Uncle Fu. So, there must be something wrong with the unexpected. General Mighty's abnormal barking must be a sign of something. In particular, the jade pendant on Lin Yi's chest also gave a similar warning reaction. By this time, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had already gotten out of the car, and they were startled by General Mighty's roar. "Don't go in yet, it's dangerous." Lin Yi shook his head at Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. Uncle Fu also jumped out of the car. He was also a yellow rank expert, and by this time, he had sensed something was amiss. However, before Chu Mengyao could ask anything, another scream rang out from inside the villa. It was General Weiwu's voice, and then silence followed. General Weiwu, Chu Mengyao was subconsciously startled, her heart tightening. Without thinking, she opened the door and rushed in. General Weiwu had grown up with Chu Mengyao, accompanying her through her infancy, childhood, and adolescence. They had a deep bond until now. Before Lin Yi arrived at the villa, besides Chen Yushu, Chu Mengyao's only remaining friend was General Weiwu. General Weiwu's sudden scream worried Chu Mengyao, and her only thought was to rush in and see what had happened to him. General Weiwu's scream also changed Lin Yi's plans. Lin Yi had originally planned to sneak into the villa to investigate, but the situation had clearly changed. Chu Mengyao rushed in, and Chen Yushu naturally followed suit. Although her feelings for General Weiwu were not as deep as Chu Mengyao's, they were not shallow either. What's more, General Weiwu had saved 2 lives. That time in Xuanyuan Mountain, if it weren't for General Weiwu, how could Lin Yi find Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu so quickly? The two entered the villa, and Lin Yi and Uncle Fu didn't dare to neglect it and followed him in. Chu Mengyao turned on the chandelier in the hall. General Weiwu was lying on the floor with his limbs curled up, with blood at the corners of his mouth. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Not far from General Weiwu was a man in black. After leaving Li Changgai's company, Yu Kun sneaked into Li Changgai's villa on the lead waterfront. He didn't believe Li Changgai's words and wanted to go to his residence to search for the remaining map himself. However, Yu Kun found nothing at Fatty Li's residence. He was still very confident in his search abilities. After his search, he even found the key to the safe that Fatty Li had hidden under the floorboards, but there was still no sign of the incomplete map. Yu Kun was completely certain that the incomplete map was not in Li Changgai's residence. However, Yu Kun did not give up. According to previous investigations, there were 2 other people with Li Changgai at the auction, Lin Yi and Guan Zumin. Lin Yi was the young man he had met at the pharmacy. For some reason, Yu Kun felt that this Lin Yi seemed even more suspicious than Fatty Li and Guan Zumin. It was because of Lin Yi that the previous tracking plan was exposed. Although Lin Yi was the youngest, Yu Kun felt that since Lin Yi had attended the auction with Fatty Li and Guan Zumin, he must be no simple person. So after arriving at Songshan City, he collected information about Lin Yi. Chapter 765 Uninvited Guests in the Villa. Chu Mengyao's personal attendant? Living in Chu Mengyao's villa? A student at Songshan City's #1 high school? This result was somewhat unexpected for Yu Kun. He had originally thought Lin Yi was close to Guan Zumin or Li Changgai, but surprisingly, it was neither. Instead, it was Chu Mengyao, the daughter of the Pengzhan Group. The more he thought about it, the more suspicious Yukun felt. Why would a personal attendant of a wealthy young lady come to Yanjing City to attend the Yu family auction? Chu Pengzhan, as a business tycoon, might be attending, but what was Lin Yi's identity? What was his relationship with Guanzuman and Li Changai? And why would figures like Guanzuman and Li Changai be friends with a personal attendant of a wealthy young lady? It simply defied common sense. So, after leaving Fatty Li's villa, Yukun set his sights on Lin Yi. He felt that Lin Yi was even more suspicious than Guanzuman. If the incomplete map wasn't in Fatty Li's hands, then it was likely in Lin Yi's. Therefore, Yukun's second stop was Chu Mengyao's villa. Fortunately, the villa was empty except for a dog. However, the dog was very well behaved. After seeing Yukun, it curled up neatly and ignored him. Since the dog didn't bother him, Yukun didn't bother to deal with it and started his search directly. Fortunately, he had just started searching the rooms on the first floor when he found a room similar to the one where Lin Yi lived. There were many men's clothes in it, and according to his investigation, there was no one else in Chu Mengyao's villa except Lin Yi. He stopped in this room and searched. Lin Yi had only put the incomplete map in a drawer, so Yukun didn't have to put in much effort. During the first superficial search, he found the incomplete map and the Xuanyuan wooden box in the drawer. Fatty Li had originally bought this box from the Kang family at an auction. Yukun had no idea what it was used for, but since he saw Lin Yi placing it with a fragmented map, he naturally took it and snatched it up along with it. It was truly a case of searching for something unseen, yet finding it effortlessly. Yukun hadn't expected his mission to go so smoothly. Not only did he get the fragmented map back, but he also got another fragment and a box of unknown purpose. Judging from the care Lin Yi took in placing them, it was clear that he didn't know the purpose of the fragmented map and the box. Otherwise, he wouldn't have just casually placed them in a drawer. At the very least, he'd have hidden them somewhere relatively secret. Therefore, it can be inferred that Lin Yi bought a fragmented map because he already had a similar fragment and wanted to study them together. But what secrets could he uncover from these two fragments? Yukun curled his lips. Lin Yi was truly a fool. Didn't he understand that the incomplete map at the auction was deliberately used by the Yu family to lure out the incomplete map? The Yu family already possessed 3 incomplete maps, and this was one of them. The Yu family wanted to collect more, so they had to use this tactic to lure those who possessed the incomplete map or knew its secrets. Then, the Yu family would come and seize the incomplete map from them. While the method was somewhat underhanded, the Yu family members were exceptionally skilled. Even if anyone later suspected them, there would be no evidence. Just like this time, Yukun himself hadn't expected it to go so smoothly. However, just as he had acquired the incomplete map and the Xuanyuan wooden box, the ragtag dog in the hall suddenly started barking wildly, startling Yukun. Was there something wrong with the dog? It hadn't barked before, but only after Yukun had the incomplete map and the Xuanyuan wooden box? Could it be that the dog was barking because he had taken something from the villa, and that was why it hadn't barked before? Yukun was upset for a moment and didn't think too much, so he naturally ignored the sound of cars outside the villa yard. In fact, there were always cars passing by outside the villa, and the rich people who lived here would usually go home at this time of night, so Yukun didn't even think that someone was coming back from the villa. He thought he had taken something, so the dog was barking. It's no wonder he thought so, because it was too coincidental. Who told him to just pick up the incomplete map and the Xuanyuan wooden box, and Lin Yi and the others came back? General Weiwu didn't say anything after Yukun came to the villa because of an instinctive fear. The dangerous aura of Yukun made General Weiwu afraid. This was similar to the oppressive feeling that Lin Yi brought to it, so General Weiwu had an instinctive fear of Yukun. It was afraid that Yukun would hurt it, so it curled up into a ball and ignored Yukun. But General Weiwu could also judge that Yukun's visit was not a good intention. So, after Chu Mengyao's car returned to the villa, General Weiwu was afraid that if she rashly entered the villa, Yukun would harm her. To protect Chu Mengyao, General Weiwu barked. It was a warning to Chu Mengyao, telling her that there was danger inside the villa and asking her not to come in. Chu Mengyao was kind to General Weiwu, and General Weiwu was grateful for his kindness. This was understandable, but Yukun misunderstood General Weiwu's intentions, thinking that General Weiwu was unhappy that he had taken something. Yukun was suddenly disgusted. You poor dog. I spared your life when I came here, and you were lucky enough to stay there, and you dared to bark? You really don't know how to live or die? How powerful was Yukon? A master of the late yellow rank, he kicked General Weiwu in the body, directly injuring his internal organs and causing him to vomit blood and fall to the ground. It was obvious that he was not going to survive. As soon as Chu Mengyao entered the villa, she saw General Weiwu lying tragically dead on the floor, and there was a man in black next to General Weiwu. She was shocked and probably understood why General Weiwu suddenly screamed. Chu Mengyao and General Weiwu had been playing together since childhood, so she had some understanding of General Weiwu's character. This guy only bullies the weak and fears the strong, and he became as softer when he saw Lin Yi. Although Chu Mengyao didn't say anything, she knew it very well. Fortunately, Lin Yi was here to protect her, and General Weiwu didn't care about him, so Chu Mengyao didn't worry about anything. However, the man in black in the villa was obviously here with bad intentions. Chu Mengyao believed that if she hadn't come back suddenly, General Weiwu would have hidden himself well and would not easily anger the intruder. It was nothing for Chu Mengyao to lose some things in the villa, and she didn't care. Chapter 766 Show Mercy. However, the reason General Weiwu was yelling, and the reason he yelled the moment she got out of the car, was clearly a warning from General Weiwu. He didn't want Chu Mengyao to enter the villa because there was danger there. Chu Mengyao was deeply moved, yet also deeply saddened. General Weiwu had accompanied her through so many lonely days and years, and now he lay on the floor, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. It looked as if he was not going to make it. At that moment, Chu Mengyao's heart was broken, tears streaming down her face. She threw herself to the floor and hugged General Weiwu. General Weiwu, what's wrong with you? Don't die. This feeling, like losing a loved one, left the young lady bewildered. In that moment, she felt so helpless, watching General Weiwu being beaten to death, unable to do anything. Who are you, Uncle Fu? Knowing the friendship between the young lady and General Weiwu, was also furious, looking at Yukon coldly. Are you Li Fu? I've heard of you. Yukon knew he had been discovered, so he was not in a hurry to escape. Because, facing Uncle Fu, also a late-stage yellow rank expert, escaping wasn't so easy. Uncle Fu's strength level was also slightly higher than his, having already reached the peak of the late yellow rank. It was just that he was an internal martial arts expert, while Uncle Fu was an external martial arts expert. So, while Uncle Fu's strength level was higher, their actual strength was comparable. A head-on clash at this point would be uncertain, and Yukon wouldn't risk such a move, as it would likely result in both sides suffering. Before arriving at the villa, he had already conducted a brief investigation of those around Lin Yi. Given the Yu family's well-informed resources, it was impossible for an expert like Uncle Fu to remain unnoticed. The Yu family had a record of nearly every expert in the Min family, including Uncle Fu. Who the hell are you? What are you doing here? And you killed Miss Chu's dog? Uncle Fu, seeing Chu Mengyao's heartbreak, was already considering keeping the man in front of him. Yu family, Yukon. Yukon did not hesitate to give his own name at this time, because even if he did not give it out at this moment, Li Fu could still find out his identity from Fatty Lai later. Moreover, if he did not give out the identity of the Yu family, Yukon looked at Uncle Fu and it seemed that it would be difficult for him to give up. Yukon did not want to fight because he knew that he could not beat Uncle Fu, and Uncle Fu could not keep him, and the result of the two people fighting hard would be that both would suffer losses. Yu family? Yukon. Uncle Fu was stunned. He did not expect that the person in front of him was actually from the Yu family. Uncle Fu naturally knew about the Yu family, and his face could not help but look a little ugly at this time. The Yu family was such a behemoth that not only Uncle Fu, but even Chu Pengzhan could not afford to provoke it. Li Fu, you're an external martial arts expert at the peak of the late yellow rank, right? Yukon glanced at Uncle Fu and said calmly, I'm an internal martial arts expert at the late yellow rank. You can't keep me, you just want to leave like this. Uncle Fu was suddenly in a dilemma. If Yukon's strength was as he claimed, then Uncle Fu really couldn't do anything to him. Internal martial arts experts are always slightly stronger than external martial arts experts. The two of them are now on par with each other. Uncle Fu was wary of Yukon's status within the Yu family and didn't dare to act rashly. What else? Yukon, noticing Uncle Fu's fear, spoke arrogantly. Chu Mengyao was overcome with grief. The mighty general in her arms seemed to stir. Chu Mengyao was surprised and widened her eyes, but the mighty general didn't move again. General Weiwu, Please don't die, please. Please don't die. Chu Mengyao had never imagined that General Weiwu would one day leave her. She had dreamed of having children of her own and having General Weiwu play with them, just as she had with him in the past. Sister Yao, don't be sad. Maybe Brother Arrow has a solution. Chen Yushu saw that General Weiwu was breathing more than breathing and knew he was probably beyond saving. But seeing Chu Mengyao's grief, she hurried to comfort her. Chen Yushu felt a pang of pain in her heart. While her friendship with General Weiwu wasn't as deep as Chu Mengyao's, they had played together often, and she was accustomed to his presence. When Chu Mengyao heard Lin Yi, a resolute hatred suddenly flashed in her beautiful eyes. She raised her head and said to Lin Yi word by word, "Lin Yi, kill this murderer for me." "Oh, okay." Lin Yi nodded calmly at the young lady's words. He had already recognized the young man in black before him. It was the same young man he had met outside the pharmacy in Yanjing City the night of the election. Hearing his name, he knew for sure, it was Yukun, the man who had approached Fatty Lai earlier. Humph, he hadn't even approached him yet, and he'd actually come knocking? Lin Yi wasn't one to stir up trouble, but if someone bullied him, he certainly wouldn't stand for it. The Yu family? Lin Yi took a deep breath. Okay, Yu family, since you've appeared in my life again, don't blame me for being rude. Are you here to steal my incomplete painting? Lin Yi asked calmly, walking towards Yukun. Steal? This belongs to our Yu family. You're useless. Yukun was a little wary of Uncle Fu's words, but he didn't take Lin Yi seriously at all. The Yu family's information didn't mention Lin Yi as a master. So, he hadn't considered Lin Yi to be anything more than a master. He was just Chu Mengyao's bodyguard. How could he be so powerful? At most, he's a retired special forces soldier or a Sanda athlete. He can't be a powerful master. Uncle Fu beside Chu Pengzhan is only at the peak of the late yellow rank. It's impossible for the bodyguards beside Miss Chu to be stronger than Uncle Fu, right? What's the use of the incomplete map? Lin Yi asked. Do you think I can tell you? Besides, I don't know either. Yukun looked at Lin Yi with disdain. Oh, then you have lost a value of existence and can go to hell. Lin Yi suddenly attacked, and the momentum on his body was released in an instant. Xiao Yi, show mercy. Uncle Fu was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Yi to kill Yukun with his men in his words. He was immediately frightened and quickly stopped him. How could someone from the Yu family die in the villa? Wouldn't the subsequent troubles be endless? How could Chu Pengzhan handle it? How could he be a match for the giant Yu family? The peak of the late yellow rank, Yukun was frightened by the aura that Lin Yi suddenly released. Just as he said a word, Lin Yi's palm was already imprinted on his chest, leaving Yukun no chance to dodge. Chapter 767 The Sad Miss. But immediately, Yukun sensed something was amiss. How could this be considered the peak of the late Wang rank? Puff, Yukun spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards, slamming heavily into the living room TV wall, shattering the TV. Lin Yi instantly retracted half of his strength. He didn't understand why Uncle Fu had told him to show mercy, but since it was Uncle Fu's word, Lin Yi naturally complied. Given Uncle Fu's composure, there must be a reason for it. Zhuan rank, Yukun stared at Lin Yi in horror, spitting out several mouthfuls of blood before uttering the two words with difficulty. Yukun knew Lin Yi had shown mercy. If it weren't for Uncle Fu's final words, show mercy, he would have likely died. How cruel. Yukun was horrified. Where had this Lin Yi come from? How could he possess the strength of an early Zhuan rank? How could this be possible? How old was he? He looked no older than himself, and he wasn't from some aristocratic family. How could he possess such formidable skills? Regardless, Yukun knew this wasn't a place for him to stay for long. Lin Yi had shown mercy this time, but there was no telling whether he would be beaten to death next. Yukun hesitated, then dropped the Xuanyuan wooden box and the two fragments of the map in his arms. Enduring his injuries, he quickly ran from the villa, disappearing into the night. He knew that if he didn't leave the Xuanyuan wooden box and the fragments behind, Lin Yi might chase him, and his life would be in jeopardy. Lin Yi watched Yukun's retreating back but didn't pursue him. Yukun was already a cripple, so why bother chasing him? Ever since the incident with Li, Lin Yi had developed a keen interest in compressing his energy. While his energy could be harnessed by others, the sudden burst of energy after compression was unbearable. Lin Yi's palm strike to Yukun contained a burst of compressed energy, which exploded like a bomb upon entering his body, destroying his meridians. So even if Yukon recovered, he'd be a cripple, unable to practice internal martial arts. Why didn't you kill him? Lin Yi looked at Uncle Fu with some confusion. To Lin Yi's surprise, Uncle Fu was actually an external martial arts expert at the peak of the late yellow rank. He's from the Yu family, Uncle Fu sighed. Killing someone from the Yu family would be a big trouble. Just because he's from the Yu family, Lin Yi frowned. You don't know about the Yu family? Uncle Fu was slightly taken aback by Lin Yi's nonchalant expression. I know, Lin Yi said calmly, but that has nothing to do with killing him. You're not afraid of the Yu family? Uncle Fu was surprised. If Lin Yi knew about the Yu family, how could he dare to keep Yukon? Afraid, Lin Yi asked himself, as if asking himself, never mind, let him run away. Lin Yi had the guts to kill Yukon at the villa because those present were trustworthy. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu wouldn't betray him, and neither would Uncle Fu. That was why Lin Yi dared to kill him. Every social circle has its own rules. Lin Yi didn't believe the Yu family would call the police if someone died, so Yukon's death wouldn't affect his current life. It was just like Zhang Long and Li Yao, who were close to Li Chihua, dead and gone. This was different from Bing Xiao, and Jianwen, and Zhong Pinliang. Bing Xiao could die, but Lin Yi couldn't kill him in public. Meanwhile, if Jianwen and Zhong Pinliang died, the police would undoubtedly take action. This was why Lin Yi handled each person differently. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Uncle Fu suddenly remembered Lin Yi's strength. Early profound stage. Was Lin Yi truly at the early profound stage? So, what was Lin Yi's background? And why was Lin Yi around the young lady? Where had Mr. Chu found him? Such a master, accompanying the young lady to and from school every day like a footman, even playing around? Uncle Fu grew increasingly suspicious of Lin Yi's figure. What kind of person was he? However, if Chu Pengzhan and Lin Yi didn't say anything, Uncle Fu wouldn't ask any more questions. He sighed slightly and walked towards Chu Mengyao. Chu Mengyao was also angry for a while and asked Lin Yi to kill Yukon, but when Lin Yi really did it, she regretted it. She couldn't let Lin Yi become a murderer because of her own affairs. So, although Yukon escaped, Chu Mengyao was a little disappointed, but also a little fortunate. If Lin Yi really killed Yukon, how would it end? Miss Chu, he is from the Yu family, we can't afford to offend him for the time being. Uncle Fu asked Lin Yi to let Yukon go. He had to tell the eldest lady about it. Uncle Fu knew Chu Mengyao's sadness and knew that she wanted to kill Yukon to avenge General Weiwu. Well, Chu Mengyao's emotions returned to calm at this moment. She hugged General Weiwu and wiped away her tears. Miss, General Mighty will be very happy to know that you are safe and sound. Uncle Fu didn't know how to comfort Chu Mengyao, but a dead dog cannot be resurrected. Yeah, Chu Mengyao replied woodenly. How could she not know that a dead dog cannot be resurrected? Seeing that General Mighty was no longer moving, it was obvious that he was dead, just for a moment. Chu Mengyao couldn't accept it. Oh, maybe he's not dead yet? I can treat you. Lin Yi walked over with a smile, took a look at General Mighty in the arms of the young lady, shrugged and asked. Not dead? Chu Mengyao's eyes lit up when she heard Lin Yi's words. She looked at Lin Yi in disbelief and said excitedly, Lin Yi, you said it's not dead? You didn't lie to me, did I lie to you? Lin Yi took General Mighty from the young lady's arms, but accidentally touched the young lady's breasts. Very soft, although not big, but very elastic. It seems to feel pretty good. Lin Yi recalled the feeling of that moment. Chu Mengyao's face suddenly turned red. People were less in summer, and Chu Mengyao would not wear a bra filled with a lot of sponge. It was just a thin bra, so how could Chu Mengyao not know about Lin Yi's touch? HMPH, Chu Mengyao glared at Lin Yi, then you better heal it for me, otherwise I will settle the score with you. If it's healed, then I won't settle the score. Lin Yi teased her. Oh, if you heal it, Sister Yao will let you touch it again. Chen Yushu also saw Lin Yi touching Chu Mengyao's chest just now. Zia Oshu, Chu Mengyao was angry. What are you talking about? Why don't you let him touch you? Oh, I'll let you if you let me, Chen Yushu said after thinking for a while. Go and have fun by yourself, I don't have time to care about you. Chu Mengyao pushed Chen Yushu aside, then turned to look at Lin Yi, who was checking the condition of the mighty general at this moment. He asked hurriedly, how is it, Lin Yi? Chapter 768, Further Enhancement of Strength. I can save him, but it's a little troublesome. Lin Yi gave a wry smile. He'd been draining a lot of energy these past few days. Lin Yi, please, Save him, okay. Chu Mengyao saw Lin Yi's expression and knew it wasn't that simple. She knew, even with Lin Yi's exceptional medical skills, General Weiwu was already near death. How could Yi be saved? Lin Yi had already expended considerable energy saving her yesterday, and now she felt a little reluctant to ask him to save General Weiwu again. Oh, I said it would be a little troublesome, not that I wouldn't save him. Lin Yi saw the young lady looking at him eagerly, and his heart was moved. The young lady was actually a real person with real feelings, but she usually kept herself so tightly wrapped up that she didn't easily reveal her feelings. Yes, Chu Mengyao nodded. Oh, why are you guys so cheesy? Sister Yao, you'll be Brother Arrow's wife sooner or later anyway. Of course, Brother Arrow has to save your dog, Chen Yushu said. Chu Mengyao pursed her lips, saying nothing. Instead, she looked at Lin Yi gratefully. Lin Yi returned to his room, carrying General Mighty. He glanced at Uncle Fu and said, Uncle Fu, please guard my door. Don't let anyone disturb me. Although Yukon's martial arts had been crippled by Lin Yi wasn't sure if his trick would work. What if someone else could repair Yukon's meridians like him? So, fearing Yukon might return with his men, Lin Yi asked Uncle Fu to guard the door for him. This way, Uncle Fu, a peak-level late-stage yellow rank expert, should be able to handle the situation. As long as he heard any movement, he could formulate a countermeasure. It's my duty. What else is the trouble? Uncle Fu asked hurriedly. Thank you for helping Miss Chu save the dog. Oh, it's my duty too. Lin Yi smiled and turned back to his room. General Mighty wasn't dead, he had simply fainted. Although many of his internal organs were damaged, Lin Yi was confident he could revive him, it was just a matter of how. Lin Yi wondered if he could use his energy to save the dog. Lin Yi's energy worked on humans, but he wasn't sure if it would work on dogs. If it did, saving General Weiwu would be easier. But if not, Lin Yi would have to resort to conventional acupuncture and herbal remedies. Master Jiao, does my energy work on a dog? Lin Yi asked beforehand, fearing that injecting energy directly into General Weiwu would kill him. I don't know. I haven't tried it, Jiao Yezi's voice echoed in Lin Yi's ears. But your energy is omnipotent. Theoretically, it should work, right? Why don't you try? Not to the point of dying. Lin Yi was deeply concerned by this answer. It's unlikely to die. At most, it's useless or overused, Jiao Yezi said. Okay, I'll try. Lin Yi felt he had no choice but to give it a try. Even if the dog died, the young lady wouldn't blame him, because he had done his best. Lin Yi placed his hand on General Mighty, silently invoking the Xuanyuan dragon taming technique. Instantly, he felt a powerful suction coming from General Mighty's body, drawing the energy from Lin Yi's body. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. It seemed to be working. However, despite the intense suction, Lin Yi didn't dare control or withdraw his hand. He didn't know how much energy would be needed to save the dog, so he simply let General Mighty absorb it. After all, if he took too much, he could just sleep and replenish it. Time passed. Minute by minute. It was unknown how much time had passed, but General Mighty's energy absorption rate hadn't stopped. It looked like he was seriously injured, so Lin Yi didn't dare stop. Although he was starting to feel a little dizzy, a warning sign of overdrawn energy, Lin Yi thought, should I endure it to avoid upsetting the young lady? He thought, the young lady had always been kind to him. Despite some initial hostility, she had shown some concern after accepting him. And, had she touched her breasts before? He wondered when he'd be able to do that again. Lin Yi, lost in thought, fell asleep. Having consumed so much energy, he entered a restorative sleep state. In the jade pendant space, Lin Yi spotted Jiao Yezi. Master Jiao, am I here again? I don't know either. Jiao Yezi shook his head. I'm not sure your energy can save the dog, but it's definitely absorbed a lot of it. The most urgent thing now is to replenish your energy. If you pass out now, what will happen if the enemy arrives? Startled, Lin Yi didn't dare ask further questions. He immediately activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue once again, frantically absorbing the energy from the jade pendant space. The energy elements within the jade pendant seemed endless. Even after so many absorptions, Lin Yi still felt no sign of weakening, remaining as rich as ever. It felt as if every pore in his body had opened, absorbing the energy. An indeterminate amount of time passed before Lin Yi suddenly felt an unprecedented surge of energy within his body. Peak of the early Xuan stage? With a slight start, Lin Yi returned to reality from the jade pendant space. Lin Yi was stunned to discover that he had actually gone from the initial early Zhuan stage to the peak of the early Zhuan stage. This meant he was only an arm's length away from the mid-stage Zhuan stage. What was going on? After losing energy and then replenishing it, Lin Yi felt a noticeable increase in strength, just like the last time he treated Pengzhan Group. Could it be the legendary destruction before construction? Had he lost some energy, then replenished it, and was able to surpass his previous strength? Lin Yi wasn't sure if his guess was correct, but the truth was truly miraculous. Lin Yi hadn't expected this to turn a disaster into a blessing, resulting in such a significant increase in strength. Woof woof, suddenly, the voice of General Weiwu echoed beside Lin Yi. Startled, Lin Yi suddenly remembered General Weiwu. He had been so lost in his energy replenishment that he hadn't paid attention to General Weiwu's condition. Upon waking, he was surprised by his own increased strength, but hadn't noticed General Weiwu's presence. Now, it seemed General Weiwu had woken up before him. Lin Yi turned his head to look in the direction of General Weiwu's call, but saw General Weiwu squatting in front of his bed like a guardian angel. Seeing that he woke up, he was wagging his tail at him happily. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 769 Yellow Level High Dog. It seems that General Weiwu has recovered well. Wait a minute, Lin Yi suddenly found that there seemed to be something wrong with General Weiwu. He seemed to be much stronger than before. Moreover, he seemed to be in unusually good spirits. In addition, there was a key question, that is, what kind of aura was emanating from General Weiwu's body at this moment? Oh my god. Lin Yi's eyes widened immediately, a little stunned. This General Weiwu, is it still General Weiwu? Why is it a little different? Lin Yi looked at General Weiwu in disbelief. What kind of dog is this? Is this still an ordinary dog? This is clearly a high-level yellow-ranked dog. After being surprised, Lin Yi reached out and touched General Weiwu's head. General Weiwu obediently rubbed his head against Lin Yi's hand, as if he was more human than before. Lin Yi tested General Weiwu's strength and found that he was indeed in the early yellow rank. People have different strengths, and so do dogs. Moreover, dogs can also reach the yellow rank strength. Isn't this a bit too much? However, the fact was happening right before his eyes, and Lin Yi couldn't help but believe it. The true energy contained in General Weiwu's body was almost the same as that of an early yellow rank expert. The injuries in his body had long been completely healed, and now he was even stronger. Xiao Wei, come here, Lin Yi waved to General Weiwu. General Weiwu came over to Lin Yi in a flattering manner, wagging his tail in front of him, as if he knew that his current strength was all thanks to Lin Yi. When I'm not at home in the future, you can also protect the eldest lady and Xiaoshu, but you can't fight randomly, understand? Lin Yi was afraid that General Weiwu didn't know how to use his strength and would hurt others recklessly. With this kind of strength, if he slapped an ordinary person with one claw, wouldn't he die immediately? Woof woof, General Weiwu responded, wagging his tail, as if he understood what Lin Yi said. Okay, since you're so obedient, I won't take your power away. Lin Yi had originally intended to destroy General Weiwu's power. A dog possessing yellow rank strength seemed unbelievable, no matter how you looked at it. However, since General Weiwu could understand him, keeping him around wasn't necessarily a bad idea, at least he could be a helper. Furthermore, Lin Yi had another immature thought, if his energy could transform an ordinary dog into a yellow rank expert, could it also transform an ordinary person into a yellow rank expert? This required further research. If his energy truly had this effect, wouldn't he be able to mass-produce yellow rank experts? Lin Yi glanced up at the curtains and suddenly realized that the sky was already turning pale. Had the night already passed? Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he had asked Uncle Fu to guard the door. He wondered if Uncle Fu had gone back to rest. With this thought, Lin Yi quickly stood up and opened the door. The lights were brightly lit in the villa's hall. Uncle Fu stood guard, vigilant, not far from Lin Yi's door. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu cuddled together on the sofa, neither asleep nor asleep, their faces etched with anxiety. Chu Pengzhan had also arrived and sat on the sofa across from them, clearly aware of what had transpired. His brow furrowed as he stared at the Xuanyuan wooden box and 2 fragments of a broken map on the coffee table. Lin Yi's door opened, instantly drawing the attention of everyone in the living room. Lin Yi pushed it open and emerged, followed by the healthy and energetic General Weiwu. General Weiwu, Chu Mengyao, overjoyed to see General Weiwu alright, stood up and ran over. General Weiwu glanced at Lin Yi, seeing no other expression, and then threw himself into Chu Mengyao's arms. Clearly, General Weiwu had already considered Lin Yi his primary master. Seeing General Mighty emerge healthy and strong, Uncle Fu found it somewhat inconceivable. Had Lin Yi truly saved General Mighty? Uncle Fu had seen General Mighty before. He was practically breathing heavily and on the verge of death. How could Lin Yi have saved him in such a state? It was truly incredible. However, something even more incredible was yet to come. Uncle Fu suddenly realized that, besides Lin Yi, there must be another high-level expert hiding in the room, possessing the strength of an early yellow rank. Uncle Fu was startled. Could another enemy have invaded? However, an early yellow rank expert was still a considerable distance from his own. How could he not have noticed this person's entrance? After a moment, Uncle Fu's gaze fixed on General Mighty, and a look of disbelief soon appeared on his face. If Uncle Fu hadn't been so composed, he would have cried out in shock. This General Mighty was no ordinary General Mighty. He was clearly a yellow rank General Mighty. The threatening aura of the master that Uncle Fu felt came from this dog. For a moment, Uncle Fu didn't know what to say. The situation before him was really beyond his expectations. He had lived half his life and had never seen such a magical thing. A dog actually turned into a yellow-level high-level dog? Is there anything more magical than this? The mighty general happily snuggled in Chu Mengyao's arms. Lin Yi suddenly felt a little envious. How nice it would be if he were that dog. He could even kiss Chu Mengyao's chest. The mighty general seemed to feel Lin Yi's unfriendly gaze. He was suddenly startled and quickly jumped out of Chu Mengyao's arms, looking at Lin Yi with some grievance. Lin Yi looked at the mighty general on the ground and immediately shook his head. He was jealous of a dog? It was really funny. Xiao Yi, Chu Pengzhan stood up this time, looking at Lin Yi solemnly. Was the person who came earlier from the Yu family? It should be. But Uncle Chu, don't worry. If anyone from the Yu family comes looking for us, just let them come to me, Lin Yi said nonchalantly. You showing mercy is not sure if it's a blessing or a curse, Chu Pengzhan sighed. But at least I'm leaving a way out. I hope the Yu family won't go too far, Lin Yi nodded. Could the Yu family send someone more powerful? It's possible. Lin Yi glanced at the Xuanyuan wooden box and the 2 fragments of the map on the coffee table. It seemed that Yu Kun from the Yu family was after the 2 fragments, and as for the Xuanyuan wooden box, he had simply stolen it. Otherwise, Yu Kun wouldn't have kept silent about the Xuanyuan wooden box when he met Fatty Lai. However, after this incident, Lin Yi changed his mind. It seemed that the fragments of the map were indeed a good thing. Hong Mengshu, the author of Official Spirit, has published a new book called Imperial Spirit. It is a fantasy book. Interested readers can take a look. Chapter 770 The Eldest Lady's Feelings. For the Yu family to attach such importance to this, there must be some secret they don't know. Yu Kun, a junior member of the Yu family, might not know the core secrets of the incomplete map. That's why Lin Yi had asked Yu Kun a question earlier, and after receiving a negative answer, he proceeded to kill him. Mr. Chu, don't worry. With me here, no one will harm Yao and Xiaoshu, Lin Yi said to Chu Mengyao. Yes, I'm relieved to have you around, Chu Pengzhan patted Lin Yi's shoulder. Since everything's settled, I'll be leaving first. You guys should get some rest early, too, Uncle Chu, please go back. There's nothing to worry about here. Lin Yi stood up and saw Uncle Fu and Chu Pengzhan off. In the courtyard, Uncle Fu opened the car door for Chu Pengzhan and let him in. Then he glanced at Lin Yi, seeming to hesitate. Oh, Uncle Fu, I didn't expect you to be a peak-level expert at the late yellow rank. Lin Yi saw that Uncle Fu had something to say, so he spoke first. Lin Yi had a very good impression of Uncle Fu. Apart from anything else, having a peak-level late-stage yellow rank expert deliver meals to the villa every day was quite a feat. How can my strength compare to yours? Uncle Fu shook his head and said with a wry smile, that dog, I don't know what happened. I lost too much energy and tenki, and that's what caused it to become like this. Lin Yi also smiled bitterly when mentioning General Weiwu. It was natural for Uncle Fu to be able to discern General Weiwu's strength. After all, General Weiwu, unlike humans, didn't know how to hide its strength. Therefore, anyone who practiced martial arts could see General Weiwu's power. I didn't expect to see a yellow rank dog. Yellow rank masters are already rare. If others knew I had a high-level yellow rank dog at home, I wonder if they would be scared to death. Uncle Fu shook his head and said to Lin Yi, "The young lady's safety is in your hands. I'm leaving now." "Well, goodbye, Uncle Fu," Lin Yi nodded, watching Uncle Fu's car drive away and returning to the villa. General Weiwu had returned to normal, much to the delight of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu, who had swept away their previous unhappiness. They were currently playing with General Weiwu in the living room. Seeing Lin Yi come in, Chu Mengyao solemnly carried General Weiwu to Lin Yi and said, "Come, General Weiwu, let's thank Lin Yi together." "Huh?" Lin Yi smiled. "No need to thank me, as long as you're not sad." "Thank you, Lin Yi," the eldest lady said seriously. "You don't know how important General Weiwu is to me. He's been with me for so many years, from childhood to adulthood." "I know, that's why I saved him," Lin Yi nodded. Chu Mengyao was slightly taken aback, but then she realized that Lin Yi should have noticed how sad she had been before. "Lin Yi, you haven't rested yet, have you? It's already past 3 o'clock, why don't you get some rest?" "Oh, okay, you guys should go to bed early too." Lin Yi was embarrassed to say that he had already slept. After all, the eldest lady and Chen Yashu had been waiting anxiously at the door. Lin Yi returned to his room but didn't sleep. He lay in bed, thinking about the Yu family. He had thought his life would never intersect again with the Yu family, but now someone from the Yu family had come knocking on his door. "Is Xiaoning from your family?" Lin Yi sighed softly, his mind once again gazing at that beautiful face. He wondered how she was doing. He sighed softly, wondering how he should face her. Hours passed in a flash, and Lin Yi lay in bed lost in thought until another noise came from the living room. Were the eldest lady and Xiaoshu awake? Lin Yi checked the time. It should be about time. He climbed out of bed, pushed the door open, and walked out, only to be met with a startling sight. The eldest lady and Xiaoshu were busy in the kitchen. "Xiaoshu, you idiot. The internet says to add the oil first, why did you put the eggs in first?" Chu Mengyao's angry voice echoed from the kitchen. "Oh, I don't know. I thought they put the eggs in first and then simmer them in soybean oil," Chen Yashu said weakly. "Forget it, no oil, it's healthier." Chu Mengyao was a little speechless, but before she could calm down, another problem occurred. There was a crackling sound in the rice cooker. "Xiaoshu, what did you do again?" Chu Mengyao subconsciously ran to the side of the rice cooker. When she listened carefully, she was immediately shocked. She quickly opened the lid of the pot, but she was furious. "Why didn't you add water? How can you cook porridge like this?" "Oh, I thought you added water later," said Chen Yashu. "You idiot. I really shouldn't have let you be my assistant. With your cooking skills, don't even think about getting married in the future." Chu Mengyao was so angry that she wanted to kick her out of the kitchen. "Oh, Brother Wrigley can cook, so I don't have to do it," Chen Yashu said with a very indifferent expression. "When you get married, can you take Lin Yi with you?" Chu Mengyao widened her eyes. "I can just marry him." Chen Yashu looked at Chu Mengyao as a matter of course. "Xiaoshu, tell me the truth, do you like Lin Yi?" Chu Mengyao stared straight into Chen Yashu's eyes. "Don't you like him too?" Chen Yashu retorted. "No," Chu Mengyao said seriously. "Xiaoshu, Lin Yi has a girlfriend. Don't get led astray." "Oh, I don't. I want to be his mistress. Having a girlfriend is nothing." Chen Yashu shook her head. "You're kidding yourself," Chu Mengyao said. "Xiaoshu, what are you thinking?" "I don't really think about it. I just want to be with Sister Yao forever," Chen Yashu said innocently. "Okay, I don't care. Whatever you say." Chu Mengyao felt a headache. She and Xiaoshu had grown up. Although they were still very close, deep down, everyone had their own secrets. It had nothing to do with the strength of their best friend relationship, everyone had their own privacy. Chu Mengyao stared at the popcorn in the rice cooker, unsure of what to do. Lin Yi, having heard what the eldest lady and Xiaoshu were saying, didn't try to interrupt. Lin Yi had a unique feeling about Chen Yashu. He always felt that a certain aura about Chen Yashu was familiar to him. However, when he thought about it carefully, he really didn't know a girl with this personality. After the two of them finished chatting about private topics, Lin Yi walked towards the kitchen. "Okay, leave it to me. You two can just wait in the living room. Chu Mengyao was startled by Lin Yi's sudden appearance, but Chen Yushu stuck out her tongue and clapped her hands. Oh, I can eat ready-made food again. Sister Yao, you see, I told you that we have Wrigley brother, so we don't need ours. Chapter 771 Tang Yun's Loss. Chu Mengyao looked at Lin Yi apologetically. You've been pretty tired these past 2 days, haven't you? I wanted to get up early and make you breakfast, but Xiaoshu messed it up. Haha, I understand. Lin Yi smiled. Chu Mengyao pulled Chen Yushu out of the kitchen. Lin Yi shook his head. These two weren't really good at cooking, but it was truly remarkable that the young lady was so thoughtful. Perhaps this was her first time cooking in her life? Chen Yushu must have been like that. Before Lin Yi arrived, the rice cooker and its manual were still inside, clearly unused. Lin Yi was a master at preparing breakfast. He set the timer for the rice porridge, then skillfully fried a few eggs and mixed some pickles with sesame oil, quickly serving them on the table. Chen Yushu, watching Lin Yi accomplish this with such ease, was surprised. Sister Yao, why are we so stupid? You're the one who's stupid, not me, Chu Mengyao said, also somewhat surprised by Lin Yi's speed. Chu Mengyao helped Lin Yi serve porridge, while Chen Yushu heated up milk for the three of them. Lin Yi, you didn't sleep well last night. Why don't you stop driving? Let Uncle Fu take us to school. Chu Mengyao was worried Lin Yi might be tired. I'm not sleepy. I'll be leaving for a while, too. I have other things to do. Lin Yi smiled. Other things? What are you going to do? Chu Mengyao asked instinctively. Kaibing Real Estate Company said they want to talk to Tang Yun's family about their demolition compensation today, Lin Yi said. Oh, Chu Mengyao was a little unhappy to hear it was about Tang Yun's family again. Oh, are you going to negotiate? I want to go too, Chen Yushu said, quickly swallowing the egg in her mouth and taking a sip of milk. What are you going there for? Lin Yi was amused. My nickname is Negotiation Shu. Brother Arrow, let me go. I guarantee you'll make the negotiation a success, Chen Yushu said. Xiaoshu, why do you have so many nicknames? Something like Spy Shu? Chu Mengyao kicked Chen Yushu, not wanting her to get involved. Oh, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm actually quite capable, Chen Yushu said. Brother Arrow, take me with you. I guarantee instant success. Lin Yi looked at Chen Yushu, eager to try, and could only smile wryly. Do you really want to go? Yeah, Chen Yushu nodded. Then go ahead. Lin Yi didn't mind. It was just one more person. Sister Yao, Brother Arrow agreed. Let's go together, Chen Yushu said excitedly. It's senior year, and the schoolwork is intense. I can't keep skipping classes, Chu Mengyao said. Is it okay? Just for a little while, Chen Yushu said. If I'm not going to school, it wouldn't be fun for you to go alone, Sister Yao. We're inseparable every day. Okay then, Chu Mengyao hesitated, then nodded, then said to Lin Yi, we'll tag along. Is that really okay? No big deal. Lin Yi didn't think it was a big deal. After all, they weren't going to do anything sneaky. They were going to the headquarters of Kaibing Real Estate Company to collect money. After dinner, Lin Yi called Tang Yun and arranged to pick her up at the hospital. He mentioned that Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu were also going. Tang Yun wasn't one to be shy. Although she found it a bit strange that Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu had come along, since they were willing to go, she let them go. The relationship between the three of them was strange. They saw each other constantly. They weren't hostile. But they were definitely not friendly either. Ever since the last battle at Fatty Lai's house and the cafeteria incident, the relationship between the three women had become this awkward. On the surface, they seemed okay, but deep down, they were wary. Tang Yun was no fool, and the threats from the eldest lady and Chen Yushu had always made her uneasy. Because Tang Yun and her mother were going with them, Lin Yi couldn't drive Chu Mengyao's Audi S5, the space would be too cramped to accommodate so many people, so he had to drive the van. This time, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu weren't picky and obediently climbed into the battered van. Although it was a bit bumpy, it was still bearable for the young ladies. Lin Yi first went to the hospital to pick up Tang's mother and Tang Yun. Tang's mother was a little surprised by the two beauties in Lin Yi's car. She glanced at her daughter nervously and asked in a low voice, "Who are they? Do you know them?" "Yes, they're Lin Yi's classmates." Tang Yun didn't tell her mother about the young lady's relationship with Lin Yi. It would be complicated, and it wouldn't be easy to explain in a few words. They're so beautiful, you want to extract some. What do their families do? Tang's mother asked worriedly. Let's talk about it when we get home, Tang Yun frowned. It was not appropriate to bring up such topics in the car. What if Lin Yi overheard them? Tang's mother glanced at Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu and thought they were just as beautiful as her daughter. Moreover, judging by their attire, they didn't look like ordinary girls. They looked like ladies from a wealthy family. Seeing that Tang Yun didn't answer her question, Mother Tang went to Chu Mengyao herself. Hello, who are you, Auntie? We're here to help Lin Yi negotiate with Kaibing Real Estate. Chu Mengyao hesitated, unsure what to say. She remembered Chen Yashu's excuse. Helping us negotiate. Mother Tang was taken aback by Chu Mengyao's response. Yes, my father also owns a company, so he knows a bit about this, she could only offer. She couldn't just say Chen Yashu was being silly and had to come along, could she? What if that silly girl started spouting off about the first wife and second wife thing? That would be embarrassing. Oh, so, thank you so much. Mother Tang was instantly delighted to hear that this was the reason they came. As long as it didn't threaten her daughter's position, it would be easy. No problem, Chu Mengyao shook her head. Tang Yun breathed a sigh of relief. She didn't want Chu Mengyao to say something inappropriate and worry her mother. As for how she would explain it to her mother when she got home, that was a matter for later. At least for now, it was enough to save face. Glancing at Chu Mengyao with gratitude, Tang Yun lowered her head again, unsure of what to say. Suddenly, a sense of loss washed over her. From the moment Lin Yi became involved in her life, it seemed as if he had always been helping her family, without stopping. Whether it was helping her fight off the trouble from Zhu Ruming, or helping her mother deal with the bullying from the vendors, or even paying for her father's surgery, or dealing with her younger brother Xiao's problems, or the series of problems caused by the demolition, all of it was Lin Yi who helped resolve them. Chapter 772 Regretful Chen Yashu. It seemed like, from the very beginning, it was always her family that was constantly in trouble. Lin Yi had been silently giving, all the time? And what had she given Lin Yi? Besides being decent looking, what advantages did she have? Suddenly, Tang Yun felt a surge of self-abasement in front of Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu. Thinking carefully, she couldn't offer Lin Yi any help, yet she had to trouble him to do so many things for her family, including today's negotiations, which also required Lin Yi's help. Why was he so kind to her? Tang Yun was trapped, unable to extricate herself. Tang Yun didn't know how to face Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu. Perhaps they were the perfect match for Lin Yi, but she simply couldn't bear to give up her feelings. At this moment, Tang Yun was torn. It seemed as if she had no advantages at all in front of Chu Mengyao. And her only self-deception was that she was Lin Yi's recognized girlfriend. Tang Yun didn't want to go on like this. She didn't want to be useless. She wanted to help Lin Yi share some of the burden, but she didn't know how to do anything. Even when Lin Yi started his own company, Tang Yun wanted to help him, but she didn't know where to begin. Looking at her mother, Tang Yun felt annoyed. How could her mother understand her troubles? Every day, she kept asking Lin Yi for this and that, but why should he give her anything? If she could repay Lin Yi's kindness with her body, Tang Yun would do it without hesitation. However, she knew it wasn't an exchange of feelings, it couldn't be exchanged. It wasn't a simple debt of gratitude. Huh? Tang Yun took a deep breath. But how could she repay Lin Yi? For the first time, Tang Yun became sentimental. Only when there was a comparison could there be a gap. For the first time, Tang Yun felt her own shortcomings. Lin Yi drove to the Kaibing building, where the Kaibing Real Estate Company was located, and parked in the underground parking lot. I didn't expect this Kaibing building to be built so quickly. Aren't you afraid it'll collapse again? Lin Yi, unaware of the many thoughts Tang Yun had been thinking about, jokingly muttered to himself after getting out of the car. Oh, I really want to see the building collapse. I didn't see it before, what a pity. Chen Yashu looked at the parking lot of the Kaibing building and said disappointedly. Did it report it in the news? Chu Mengyao said. Then there was no report of the collapse. The moment of collapse must have been very interesting, Chen Yashu said in fantasy. Bang, and the building collapsed. It was very interesting. Okay, stop fantasizing, let's go up, Chu Mengyao said, holding Chen Yashu's hand. Next to the temporary demolition project team office on the second floor was a monitoring room. Bing Xiao, Li Shihu and Su Nianghua were watching the surveillance video in the parking lot. The Kaibing building had just been completed and had not yet been officially put into use, so there were only 3 of them in the entire building. Damn it! The building collapsed with a bang. Hearing Chen Yashu's words, the young soldier gnashed his teeth, his eyes blazing with anger. I'll have you all blown to death in a second. This girl's name is Chen Yashu. She's from the Chen family. Li Shihu introduced Chen Yashu's background. She's usually a bit clueless, and seems to have some IQ issues. HMPH, no matter whose family she is, if she's with Lin Yi, she must die, the young soldier sneered. Then turned his gaze to Tang Yun and Chu Mengyao. It's a waste for these 2 pretty girls to be blown to death. Yeah, it's a bit of a waste, Li Shihu nodded. But my legs aren't working well, so it's not convenient for me to play with women. I'll just blow them up. Thinking of his legs, Zhao Kaibing felt a surge of hatred. Okay, then, should we go over there and wait for them to come up? Li Shihu asked. Yes, we'll go together, the young soldier nodded. Li Shihu wheeled Zhao Kaibing and Su Nianghua to the nearby demolition project team office, awaiting Lin Yi and the others' arrival. Not long after, Lin Yi, Tang Yun, Tang's mother, Chu Mengyao, and Chen Yashu came upstairs to the demolition project team office. Lin Yi was surprised to see Zhao Kaibing and Li Shihu there. He'd assumed only Su Nianghua would be there. Hello, my name is Su, and I'm the demolition project team manager for Kaibing Real Estate Company. Su Nianghua introduced himself as he approached. Oh, no need to introduce yourself. I know you. Aren't you the Genmao capsule? The manager of the Jelly Fuyan bar? And that Li Shihu, I know you too. Aren't you all from the Jelly Fuyan bar? Chen Yashu interrupted Su Nianghua before he could finish. Huh? Why is there a disabled person here? In a wheelchair? Are you guys a scammer? How did you run a bar and then open a real estate company? Ahem, in addition to running a bar, we also run a real estate company. Li Shihu broke out in a sweat, but didn't dare to say anything, so he had to explain. Zhao Kaibing was also furious, but he didn't dare to confront Lin Yi head-on. You have to know that Lin Yi is a Xuan-level master, a figure who can go toe-to-toe with Zubo. Who knows how much of his strength has recovered? Even if he has recovered half, it is more than enough to defeat them. So, although Zhao Kaibing was annoyed, he could only keep a smile on his face and said, did we seem to have a misunderstanding before? But it's all a misunderstanding. Today, we sincerely invite you to discuss compensation matters. Zhao Kaibing thought to himself, I'll lower my posture for now and make you happy. Later, I'll plant a time bomb in your car and see if you still come out happy. Of course, Zhao Kaibing was not afraid of being investigated. Now, in the Kaibing building, besides the 3 of them, there was only Zhang Yishao waiting near the parking lot. When the bomb exploded, it would be equivalent to being dead without evidence. If he didn't admit it, who could do anything to him? The Kaibing building hadn't officially opened yet, and there were no witnesses at all. Oh, it's a misunderstanding, Lin Yi smiled. Although he had a smile on his face, he became more and more suspicious of Zhao Kaibing's intentions. Lin Yi didn't believe Zhao Kaibing would be so magnanimous. He had broken his leg, and not only did he say it was a misunderstanding, he even offered compensation. That wasn't magnanimity, that was simply stupidity. So, when things go wrong, there must be something fishy going on. Lin Yi was very suspicious of Zhao Kaibing's intentions, which was why he had followed Tang Yun's family here. Of course, it's a misunderstanding, Zhao Kaibing smiled and nodded. Su Nianghua, please tell us about the compensation decision. Let Ms. Wang decide if it's reasonable. Okay, Su Nianghua nodded, then said, Ms. Wang, based on our discussion and research, we've decided to compensate your family with 2 million yuan in financial compensation. Is that an amount acceptable to you? Chapter 773 Negotiation. 2 million, actually, for Tang's mother, 2 million was already a lot. How could she disagree? But since Lin Yi had come along, naturally, his approval was necessary. 2 million? So little, Chen Yashu spoke up. She couldn't come here for nothing. She had to leverage her strengths as a negotiation expert. But she wasn't a good negotiator. Her claim that she was a negotiation expert earlier this morning was just nonsense. She was really just joining in the fun. Of course, 2 million is just a proposal. If you think it's inappropriate, we can negotiate. Su Nianghua didn't expect Chen Yashu to speak before Tang's mother did. However, he kept in mind a principle: no matter what the other party asked for, He had to keep them calm first. Once Zhang Yizhao had set the time bomb, everything would be fine. At least 200 million, right? Chen Yushu pondered, and suddenly remembered a common saying on TV, ask for a high price and pay it back on the spot. So she directly offered a figure of 200 million, which immediately shocked Xuanyuan to the point of rolling her eyes. 200 million? Why don't you just rob someone? And 200 million? That's a bit too much, isn't it? Is that a bungalow or a building? Zhao Kaibing frowned. Although he had already decided to agree to some of Lin Yi and the others' unreasonable demands, he couldn't go too far, right? 200 million? What a joke. Even if he agreed, Lin Yi wouldn't believe it and would doubt his intentions. So, Zhao Kaibing could only say, little girl, your price isn't a bit insincere, is it? No, I heard your building collapsed with a bang, and you didn't care at all and built another one. Chen Yushu blinked and said, this building must have cost at least hundreds of millions, right? So 200 million is not too much? Zhao Kaibing's eyes widened. What the hell is this? It's two completely different things. And the building collapsed with a bang? It collapsed of its own will? If it weren't for that bastard Lin Yi, how could his building collapse? Zhao Kaibing was so angry he wanted to bite Lin Yi to death. The building is only worth 100 million. Your bungalow is a house of gold and silver? How could it be worth 200 million? Zhao Kaibing frowned. Meanwhile, Tang's mother, her eyes widened. How could these two come to negotiate? They were clearly here to cause trouble? What if they got angry and refused to pay a penny? However, Lin Yi didn't say anything at this moment, and Tang's mother couldn't say anything either. She could only pray silently that she would be lucky to get 2 million, but not even that. If your building collapses again, won't it be 200 million? Chen Yushu calculated on her fingers. When will your building collapse again? Don't forget to ask me to come and see it. What kind of calculation is that? Zhao Kaibing was furious and wanted to ask Chen Yushu if she was here to cause trouble. But when he thought about the people in front of him who were about to be killed by the bomb, he suddenly felt relieved. Oh, then how much can you compensate? Chen Yushu was too lazy to talk to him. It was no fun at all. 3 million. That's the limit we can handle, Zhao Kaibing said, holding up 3 fingers. He couldn't possibly offer Lin Yi so many benefits all at once. He needed to buy time as long as possible, waiting for Zhang Yizhao to set the time bomb. You're so stingy. No wonder the building collapsed. If you keep being so stingy, it'll collapse again soon. Chen Yushu's thoughts were all about the building's collapse, so she was talking about it. Even if it collapses, you don't have to worry about it. Zhao Kaibing was furious. You little girl, you have such a bad conscience. Why are you always thinking about my building collapsing? What good would a collapse do to you? Of course, if Zhao Kaibing knew Chen Yushu was just wanting the building to collapse for fun, he'd probably die of rage. Mother Tang's heart skipped a beat. 3 million. Another million in just a short while? No way. Could this negotiation method actually work? Mother Tang was a little surprised. Was this really how rich people negotiate? Was she really that ignorant? Was Chen Yushu actually helping her family? At this point, Tang's mother's doubts were gone. No matter what Chen Yushu did, as long as she could negotiate a higher compensation, it didn't matter what she said. Oh, Brother Arrow, he only offered 3 million. I can't afford it, you do it. Chen Yushu felt that she had negotiated an extra million, which was already quite good. But was Chen Yushu's words a bit ambiguous? I can't afford it, you do it. Lin Yi felt a little embarrassed. Why did it feel like she was hinting at something? Chu Mengyao seemed to sense something was amiss, but with Tang Yun and her mother present, she couldn't say anything. If Chu Mengyao could hear it, then Tang Yun could too. She glanced at Chen Yushu, wondering if she was being intentional or not. Tang Yun had a feeling that Chen Yushu wasn't as foolish as she appeared, and that she had other ulterior motives. Of course, Tang Yun hadn't found any evidence, but on the surface, Chen Yushu was indeed foolish. Oh, fine, I'll do it, Lin Yi said, pretending not to hear. Tang's mother wasn't paying attention to that. Her focus was completely on the extra 1 million, and she had no time to listen to anything else. The same thing happened to Zhao Kaibing, Li Shihua, and Su Niange. They were focused on keeping Lin Yi and the others in check, buying enough time for Zhang Yizhao to get through. Okay, Zhao Kaibing, stop adding 1 million after another. State your bottom line. Lin Yi didn't know what Zhao Kaibing was up to, so he didn't know what his bottom line was. Even now, Lin Yi couldn't quite figure out why Zhao Kaibing had called him in. Was it just to get compensation for Tang Yun's house demolition? Lin Yi didn't believe it. Only Zhao Kaibing, and Li Chihu and Su Niange, were completely out of their minds. Furthermore, Zhao Kaibing had easily raised the compensation from 2 million to 3 million. So, it seemed like that number could continue to rise. 5 million, that's my bottom line, Zhao Kaibing said. But I have a request. What request? Lin Yi frowned. Was this the real reason for his visit? Don't interfere in the demolition of the shanty towns. I will give you 5 million, and you can use part of the money to compensate some of your neighbors who are on good terms with you, but don't hinder our company's demolition plan. Zhao Kaibing pondered for a moment, then said very seriously. Chapter 774, 5 million check. Not interfering with the shantytown demolition? Lin Yi hadn't expected Zhao Kaibing to go to so much trouble to find him. Was it because of this? If Zhao Kaibing was afraid he'd sabotage his demolition plans and was trying to impress him with enough money, that was also possible. Seeing Lin Yi's sudden realization, Zhao Kaibing felt secretly pleased. He had planned these words for a long time. If they were simply to give Lin Yi some benefits, he would surely be suspicious. He'd already broken his leg, so offering him benefits would be foolish. But by giving him the money and making this request, everything seemed reasonable. He wanted to demolish the shantytown, and Lin Yi was the biggest threat. He was afraid he'd interfere, so he offered such generous compensation. This way, he was essentially showing weakness in a helpless way. He was only giving the money under the guise of demolition compensation to save face. That way, Lin Yi wouldn't suspect his ulterior motives. Otherwise, no one is stupid. How could someone, after having a broken leg, a collapsed building, and 3 million in medical bills, pay millions more in demolition compensation for no apparent reason? Would that be the biggest idiot of all? Zhao Kaibing's condition really put Lin Yi in a difficult position. Logically, the shantytown demolition had nothing to do with him, and Lin Yi wasn't one to meddle in other people's affairs. But the key question was, would Tang Yin let him intervene? So Lin Yi looked at Tang Yin. Tang Yin was also in a dilemma. If possible, she wanted Lin Yi to take care of the miserable neighbors in the shantytown. If she hadn't met Lin Yi, her family would probably be in the same situation as them. Who knows, if Zhao Kaibing took a fancy to her, it would be even more miserable. However, although Tang Yin thought so, she couldn't do it. No matter how powerful Lin Yi was, he couldn't take care of everything, right? With so many injustices in the world, how could Lin Yi handle it all? Zhao Kaibing had also made it clear that if there were any neighbors with whom he had a good relationship, he could help them privately. This had nothing to do with the demolition. However, even if Tang Yun gave out the entire 5 million yuan, with so many residents in the shantytown, each family would only receive a few thousand yuan, a drop in the bucket. So, Tang Yun hesitated. Tang's mother didn't care. What relationship did she have with him? If others were poor and couldn't get compensation, it was because they lacked the ability. Without a son-in-law like Lin Yi, who could they blame? They could only blame their daughter's incompetence. While her husband was bedridden, she hadn't seen anyone give them money or use connections to help them. While the shantytown was largely inhabited by poor people, it was impossible for everyone to be completely unconnected. If someone had been able to intercede for Tang Zhichin, they wouldn't have been left without a penny. Meanwhile, another resident of the shantytown, also working at the electronics factory, had burned their feet at work, but with some connections, they received over 10,000 yuan in compensation. When Tang's mother had gone to ask for help, the family, fearing they might be implicated, hadn't even opened the door. So, Tang's mother thought, I don't care if you live or die. I'll take my money and live in my big house. However, despite her thoughts, with Lin Yi around, she couldn't make the final decision. She could only look at Lin Yi. Oh, sure. Seeing Tang Yun remain silent, Lin Yi clearly handed the initiative over to him. But the compensation for the shantytown residents shouldn't be too low. Try to follow the standard. This was the last thing Lin Yi could do. He had already done his best. After all, even if Lin Yi was incredibly powerful, he couldn't force Zhao Kaibing to give every relocated household 5 million yuan. Wouldn't he still be making any money? He'd be losing money in a matter of days. I'll consider it, Zhao Kaibing nodded. Regardless, he agreed to Lin Yi's request. If Lin Yi died in the explosion, he wouldn't have to enforce the order. Okay, when will you pay me? Lin Yi nodded. Oh, I'll ask someone to write a check for 5 million and send it over, Zhao Kaibing said. Wouldn't it be faster to transfer money? Lin Yi frowned slightly. Transfer money? It's like this. Our company's account has a monthly transfer limit. Didn't I just transfer 3 million to you? So transferring another 5 million will exceed the limit. Zhao Kaibing had already thought of the answer and said calmly. Oh, then you can have someone send it. Although Lin Yi was very suspicious of Zhao Kaibing's purpose, he nodded. Okay, I'll make a call, Zhao Kaibing said, and winked at Li Chihua. Li Chihua immediately understood, took out his mobile phone, and dialed Zhang Yazhao's number. Hello? Zhang Yazhao? Where are you? Li Chihua stood up and deliberately walked to the window, so as not to let Lin Yi and others hear the voice on his phone. Brother Chihua, don't worry. I'm in a very safe place now, Zhang Yazhao said. The bomb has been installed. As soon as Lin Yi starts the car, the timer will be activated. Oh, then prepare a check for 5 million and send it to me, Li Chihua said. Okay, I'll be there right away, Zhang Yazhao said. In reality, this call was just Li Chihua confirming with Zhang Yazhao that the bomb had been installed. The question of whether or not to issue a check was just a random excuse. A moment later, Zhang Yazhao knocked on the door and entered, placing a check in front of Zhao Kaibing. Young Master Bing, the check is ready. Yes, can I see it? Zhao Kaibing glanced at the check for the amount, confirmed it was correct, and signed his name. He then handed it to Lin Yi. You can call and verify the validity of the check. Lin Yi nodded, took the check, called the bank to confirm it was indeed cashable, and then nodded and handed it back to Tang's mother. Zhao Kaibing's attitude today was very strange, so Lin Yi had to be cautious. As for what Zhao Kaibing said about not letting him get involved in the demolition of the shantytown, Lin Yi always felt that it was a bit unreliable. In fact, from the time Zhao Kaibing started the demolition to now, Lin Yi was just standing up for Tang Yun's family. As for other families, Lin Yi really didn't get involved. In this way, today's negotiations ended smoothly. Zhao Kaibing did not try to keep Lin Yi and others, but said to Li Chihua, Chihua, go and see Lin Yi and Ms. Wang off. Okay, young Master Bing. Li Chihua nodded and made a gesture of invitation to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, everything is settled. I believe you don't want to stay here any longer, right? Chapter 775 was tampered with. Li Chihua had completely defined this negotiation as a matter of interests, making it seem more genuine. She wanted Lin Yi to believe that her side's compromise was simply a plea for Lin Yi to refrain from disrupting the upcoming shantytown demolition. Hell, I hope what you say is true. Don't try to play any tricks, or you'll reap what you sow, Lin Yi nodded. Naturally, not wanting to stay, he led Tang Yun, Tang's mother, Chu Mengyao, and Chen Yashu out of Zhao Kaibing's office. As Chen Yashu left, she seemed reluctant to leave. Zhao Kaibing, do you have any footage of your building collapsing last time? What are you doing? Zhao Kaibing frowned, thinking Chen Yashu was truly annoying. Oh, nothing, I just thought it was interesting and wanted to take a look, Chen Yashu said. No. Get out of here, Zhao Kaibing, furious, waved his hand at Chen Yashu, and said impatiently. Oh, that's such a shame. The next time your building collapses, be sure to notify me in advance so I can come and see, Chen Yashu said disappointedly. There won't be a next time. Zhao Kaibing almost jumped out of his wheelchair. Damn it, are you here to pick a fight? I'll blow you up, Zia Oshu. Chu Mengyao pulled Chen Yashu to stop talking. After all, this was someone else's territory, and Chu Mengyao was afraid that Chen Yashu's words might cause trouble. Chen Yashu stuck out her tongue and followed Lin Yi out of the office. They took the elevator to the underground parking lot. In the office, Zhao Kaibing, Li Chihua, Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, and Zhang Yazhao went to the nearby monitoring room again. After watching the surveillance footage of Lin Yi and his group getting into the car, they burst into laughter. Haha, what's the point of Lin Yi's martial arts skills? He's still going to be killed by the bomb, Zhao Kaibing laughed. Yeah, even with a check, you'd be dead even if you cashed it. Bang! It'll explode, and the check will be reduced to dust, making it impossible to cash, Xuanyuan Yulong Jue sneered. Earlier, when Zhao Kaibing and Li Chihua were discussing the matter, Xuanyuan Yulong Jue had suggested using checks to pay Lin Yi and the others. Once the money was transferred, it couldn't be retrieved, but with checks, if the check shattered, every penny in the bank would be lost. Well, Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, you're really clever, kid. That's a good trick. Not only did you kill Lin Yi, But you saved us a ton of money, Zhao Kaibing said admiringly. Isn't that all thanks to young Master Bing's training? Young Master Bing wouldn't bother with such petty tricks. Young Master Bing is a man of great importance. Such conspiracies are better left to his little boss, Su Mengyao said modestly. Well, Zhang Yazhao, is the time bomb okay? Zhao Kaibing nodded and looked at Zhang Yazhao. Don't worry, young soldier, I got TNT explosives. It's such a big bag, not to mention a van, even a building can be blown down, Zhang Yazhao said proudly. This time, I don't believe Lin Yi will not die, I'm just afraid that when they explode, others will be implicated. Implicate others? That has nothing to do with us. Who let those idiots get close to their car? They deserve to be blown up. How could Zhao Kaibing care about the life and death of others? In his opinion, as long as Lin Yi died, it would be fine. Whether others died or not was their own bad luck. That's right. Who let them get close to Lin Yi's car? They deserve to be blown up, Zhang Yazhao echoed. I set the bomb to explode in 20 minutes. Given the current traffic conditions, it's absolutely impossible to reach the First People's Hospital, Lin Yi's villa, the top expert, or the nearest bank where the check can be cashed in 20 minutes from the Kaibing building. So, unless Lin Yi pulls over in the middle of the road and gets out, he's absolutely dead. That's good. Then we'll just wait for the good news, Zhao Kaibing nodded, feeling incredibly relieved. It's not that the time hasn't come yet, right? No matter how powerful Lin Yi is, no matter how many experts he tries, he'll still be killed by his own explosion. Lin Yi got in the car and just started it when the jade pendant jumped, sending a dangerous signal. Sure enough, there was a problem. Lin Yi's heart tightened, and he calmly turned off the engine again. Click, click, from inside the car, a faint sound like the second hand of a mechanical clock could be heard. Time bomb, that was Lin Yi's first thought. Although it had been over a month since he arrived in Songshan City, Lin Yi still hadn't forgotten the brutality of the battlefield. It was impossible for such a sound to be heard from inside the car. Since the jade pendant had already sent a dangerous signal, Lin Yi naturally had no doubt that someone had planted a time bomb into his car. In an instant, Lin Yi figured out why Zhao Kaibing had asked him to discuss the demolition compensation today. So this was his plan. He could calm himself during the negotiation, and then in the empty building parking lot, he could safely plant a time bomb into his car. That way, after he drove the car out of the building, the bomb would explode soon, and he and everyone in the car would be shattered to pieces. This wishful thinking was quite good, right? Lin Yi also understood why Zhao Kaibing didn't pay by bank transfer, but instead used a check. After the car exploded, the check would naturally shatter, and that way, the money in the bank would not be lost. This Zhao Kaibing was not stupid, was he? After Lin Yi understood Zhao Kaibing's intentions, he sneered faintly. Wouldn't he be allowed to interfere with this slum demolition? What a good excuse. A less cautious person would have been fooled. Fortunately, Lin Yi hadn't trusted Zhao Kaibing's intentions from the beginning and remained vigilant from the beginning. Lin Yi calmly started the car again and drove out of the Kaibing building's underground parking lot. Once on the main road, he quickly parked the car in a corner on the side of the road, a spot that was hidden from view from the building's rooftops. A sinister plan had already begun in Lin Yi's mind, and he couldn't let Zhao Kaibing and Li Shihu discover what he was doing. In fact, Zhao Kaibing, Li Shihu, and the others were so overjoyed that they didn't even pay attention to where Lin Yi went after leaving the Kaibing building. It didn't matter where he went, he was doomed to die. So, why bother paying attention to him? Too much attention would be enough to risk someone tying Lin Yi's death to their own fault. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.